Yeah, I caught my first fish, Dad.
Great.
Dad.
I love you too, son.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the boat's always ready for those magical father-son moments. Who knows, maybe someday he'll actually like fishing. So keep the dream and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking. Now start screening. For easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper, also known as Drapes, here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. That's where I got my gorgeous black-on-black EQS SUV. Not? I'll be honest, it's the most stunning car I've ever owned. And let me tell you why I love it. First of all, the minute you step inside, you feel like you're driving a luxury vehicle. Plus, I love the onboard navigation system. And I tell you what, my kids just love the front seat and rear seat heating option. You know how it is up here in Northern California. You got to have that during the winter. And of course, during the summer, you got to have seat cooling. Well, my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV has that as well. Go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They believe, guys, that when you buy the world's finest car, it should be an experience you'll never forget. It's the greatest car shopping experience I've ever had. They were tremendous. The ease of buying, they just made it super simple. It's just 30 minutes from Sacramento, right off of I-5. And of course, you can always go online at mbofstockton.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Friday, Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. The bad boys of the midday. Talking Kings, Sixers, Niners, NFL playoffs. Chris Watkins, how are you doing? By the way, we got our guy Nate Littlefield.
Oh, yeah.
Behind the glass today. Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Good, great, fantastic. Glad it's a Friday. We have Monday off, so we're going to enjoy this nice little weekend break we got. And then, we got Kings on national TV tonight on ESPN. No Joel Embiid. So you're saying there's a chance.
Or you're saying it could be even
dicier. We're setting ourselves up for heartbreak. Possibly.
No, we played so much sound yesterday about Coach Mike Brown and how he feels like this is the most connected team that he's ever been a part of. They got to smell opportunity here. Is there a game where they've taken advantage of a star missing? I mean, when you played the Pelicans, it's been no Zion. no Brandon Ingram. You haven't been able to get it done. You faced the T-Wolves without Karl Anthony Towns. You got blown out the building. You faced the Celtics. Wasn't somebody missing against the Celtics? Or were they fully loaded?
I want to say Jason.
It was one of the two.
Missing?
I think it was definitely Tatum.
Yeah.
It was definitely Tatum because he rolled his ankle against the Warriors.
Right.
And you got blown out the building. Can you take advantage? The only one I can think of, and they're not very good, the Suns without Kevin Durant, they won that game. And then they beat the Nuggets without Jamal Murray. But I wouldn't count Jamal Murray the same way I count some of these guys like a Joel Embiid.
How quick you are to forget that we just beat the Pistons without Cade Cunningham.
Oh, that's right.
And the Hornets without LaMelo Ball.
You have to power through,
you better watch the words you're saying there.
And sometimes I forget that Hornets game, and I promise I'll let it go. That Brandon Miller didn't play either.
Oh, the first one?
The first one.
No. That's
crazy to me.
Insane.
But that was a different team.
That's a whole.
That was a different team. That was before they were the most connected team that Coach Mike Brown has ever played with. This is a different time.
Still when that was the case. But.
No, this is a different time. So we're going to talk about the Kings taking on the two beasts of the East. Our guy Kyle Draper just enjoying himself in Philadelphia. He deserves it. As we also talk about the Niners, and they lose Adam Peters, their GM. And what that means, not just losing that guy, but when you're successful, everything gets blocked in every single sport. At what point are they not going to be able to power through this, right? And you still haven't won that Super Bowl. So you're getting people plucked every single year, even Steve Wilkes. That's not just the Chargers now. There are multiple teams interested in Steve Wilkes after 1 year. So that means at best, you get one more year with him, and he's probably gone, assuming you play well again. So you got to get this stuff done, and at what point is just too much taken away to where you can't continue to power through, whether it's evaluating talent, the draft, things like that. So we'll get into all that. And I did want to talk about this. I don't know, I had to tell Chris, he wasn't necessarily hip to it, but we're going to bring this back to the sports world. So I think some of you may know about this guy, some of you may not. Keith Lee, he is I don't know if he's a former MMA fighter or he still fights. Yes. So he fought MMA and then just started doing food reviews.
Yeah.
Long story short, he started doing it on TikTok. They blew up to the point where it's called the Keith Lee's Family Food Tour. And he goes all around America and he's really changing people's lives. He's basically a Robin Hood Guy Fieri.
Yep.
He puts you out on blast, and if he likes your spot, it could change your life. So he went to the Bay Area. Okay, and I'm not going to spoil it because we're going to talk about it later, but basically he left early. That's all I'm going to say. So we'll get into why he left early. We have some sound from his TikTok as to why he left early. And it's kind of sad, honestly, as we discussed Jordan Hicks being signed by the Giants and the Giants having trouble signing free agents. And is it this city or what's going on? We're not going to get political, but I do think it's an interesting conversation. And we got to start the bid now for Keith Lee to come back and come to Sacramento. And Keith, who were you talking to? Because it was. I promise I'll move forward after this because we got the full thing on it. He didn't say any names, Chris, because he didn't want them to go under. That's how bad it was. But we'll discuss all of that. That's at 11:45. Also, we have Michael Kasky-Blowmain, writer for ESPN 97.3. He writes all things 76ers. That's at 1 p.m. And, of course, we're talking about Wild Card Weekend. Super Wild Card Weekend on Peacock, of course, sponsored by Peacock.
Is there a Nickelodeon game this weekend?
Please, I need the slime.
Come on.
I need the slime. So we're previewing 76ers, and, of course, we're previewing the Bucks. Chris Watkins, I mean, it's Friday. It's crazy. It's going to rain tomorrow, but let's just keep the vibes going.
Keep the vibes going. Hopefully the Kings can take advantage of the win tonight, and then who knows? Sunday is going to be an interesting one in Milwaukee. I mean, they just blew the doors off of Boston the other day. I know Boston was on a back-to-back, but it could get crazy this weekend. Who knows? Like we said, we got the extended weekend too, so hopefully going to enjoy some life and hopefully get some good football action as well this weekend. Looks like it should be good. I am disappointed though. I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but I'm really disappointed that Dolphins-Chiefs game is going to be in a tundra, like just completely frozen, because those are the two most high-powered offenses potentially in this playoffs, and to have them just kind of playing in mud a bit is a little bit of a letdown.
You know, it's a good point. And you can talk to
I guess
some.
that's an assumption too.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Right. And you can talk to some OGs and they'll tell you that's what's great about the sport.
That's
of
what makes football.
Right? That's what makes football.
Playing in the mud, playing in the rain, playing in the snow.
But is it?
No, that's like 1960s.
This is the turkey bowl with your cousins that you have a vendetta against. This is supposed to be highest level. And
Patrick Mahomes.
We're still going to watch.
Hill.
You already got problems with the receivers. Kadarius Toney. What we're going to do, we have, what are you calling it, Chris? The prop picks? Prop talk.
We'll call it prop talk.
We have prop talk
before crosstalk.
Prop talk before crosstalk at 1:30. Also, that's coupled with our dog segment. I mean, over under 2 catching the Kadarius. Can you imagine this man trying to catch a football? He can't catch a football in good weather.
No way. No way. There's no way. I didn't even think about that aspect of it either. I mean, the Chiefs receivers are already garbage.
They're already bad.
And to throw snow on top of that, I mean, maybe I'll say talk, but Travis Kelce, I'm guessing he's going to get fed a lot. And then Isaiah Pacheco / Beef Stew, whatever you want to call him, like, I think there'll be a lot of heavy run game. So maybe some Devon Achane on the other side as well.
Yeah. And you also have Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
So I don't know what to expect out of that game. We're breaking down all of the games this weekend, and hopefully it's still entertaining. I'm sure it will be, because football is pizza.
It sure
no
is.
such
That's
thing as bad pizza. No such thing as bad football. There also seems to be a bit of a blowout problem with the NBA. So we will discuss why that is, if it's the back-to-back thing, what is the reason that this keeps happening, and you're just seeing some wild scores. So, you have Adam Peters getting hired by the Commanders.
Right.
We were hearing Raiders at first. So the Commanders thing, assuming the Raiders, were trying to hire him as well. Is that interesting to you?
Definitely, for sure. And it's not lost on me either. If you remember, I think it was earlier this week when Washington said that they were hiring a search committee for it, who was one of the names on there, but Bob Myers. I mean, Bob Myers, who, there's pictures of Bob Myers sideline talking to John Lynch. I guarantee they've talked about before, like, hey, what kind of system do you have set up here? Who are some of the most important people in your system? And I'm sure John Lynch told him, well, Adam Peters is pretty much the straw that stirs the drink here. Yeah. And so when I heard Bob Myers was going to be part of the search committee, and then I heard Adam Peters was going to be one of the names they brought in, it just seemed to make a lot of sense that was probably going to be one of the names that was going to get thrown to the top of the list. Because, I mean, if Bob Myers seriously was as involved as it seemed in that search process, I mean, you would have to imagine that Bay Area guy, a guy he's been familiar with, in a team that's had crazy amount of success. It just kind of made way too much sense for that to go that direction. So we'll see. We'll talk about it later, but it's another Niners exec coach that's out the door that they're going to have to replace. And in a weird way, I mean, when I think we asked Biederman about it earlier this week. We've talked with Nate about it a couple times. Again, it sounds to me like Adam Peters is a major, major part of what goes on with this Niners team in terms of the actual team building and the talent acquisition and talent evaluation. So is this a blow on top of losing D coordinators, on top of losing McDaniels as an OC a couple years ago? Is this going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, proverbially? Because at some point, it's really hard to replace super talented people with more super talented people. At some point, you're going to make a misstep.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, is there a blowout problem in the NBA? And if so, why? All that, and we'll open up the phone lines to hear from you on this Friday as the Kings take on the 76ers. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere. It's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Kings got a game tonight, taking on the 76ers and their East Coast extravaganza. That's not the 6. That's not the 6.
76.
76ers. I'll give you that one. And we've been looking forward to this. There was the test a couple weeks ago back in December where it was the Celtics and the Timberwolves. Didn't go so well.
Did not. Sure did.
Didn't go so well. Here's another one.
Yep.
And you got no Joel Embiid, but honestly, it doesn't matter to me. You're still on the other side of the country. These early starts, I know you've had a couple games doing them now, but this is still a really good team.
Yeah.
And we know, we've seen, I mean, you slept on the Pistons and you gave up 47, you were down by 20.
Right.
If you roll out any type of effort similar to that, you will get blown out the building.
Sure.
Joel Embiid or no Joel Embiid.
Can we call this like a quarter 2 midterm?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Like if that first was like I think we called it, it's more like a quarter 1 final, I guess, looking back at it, which they failed or got a
it was
C-
about
minus or whatever.
D at best.
Let's see if maybe this one's a little bit easier because you don't have Joel Embiid, at least on the front end, but you still do have a pretty loaded Milwaukee team, yet a pretty flawed Milwaukee team, 5-5 in their last 10, so not even playing their best basketball. So, it's definitely a tough test, but at the same time, it's not a peak performance.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
And then after that, you have the Suns who beat the Lakers handedly last night. After that, they have the Blazers, and then they will take on the Kings. So you would think a bit of a raise in competitiveness when you get to the Kings after the Blazers, and no disrespect to the Blazers who have beat the Kings as well.
We'll talk about the Blazers.
We'll talk about the Blazers. I don't know. They might need to go to what is it in soccer and football where you need to drop down a level. You need to get relegated.
Yes.
You might be pretty close to that. Yeah. But by the way, they can't get relegated if the Pistons are hanging out.
That's
and the Charlotte Hornets are as well. So that's the team who the Suns. We know they can play basketball. They're finally whole.
Yeah.
Okay, you got Grayson Allen saying goodbye to Emma Stone. We were not
so random.
I am sorry, we were not
was not familiar with this game
with your game. So
all.
there you go right there. So a nice test for the Kings. They already took care of business on where they were supposed to. Can you keep it rolling? All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. As we open up the phone lines, 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Ted, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Ted? You're on Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good to be with you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, I don't know if I have actually a question when it's all said and done. I think I just want to kind of get into a conversation and maybe vent a little bit because I'd like to watch Inside the NBA when I can, and
Oh no, Ted!
What happened?
Oh, there you go. You just cut out for a minute.
We gotcha.
Oh, okay. So I was watching Inside the NBA, just a little video clip that they were going over the current results of where the All-Star voting stands. I saw De'Aaron was listed 8th among the backcourt in the West, and I was just blown away seeing John Morant is leading him, and I'm just like, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
The guy has played 5 games. I don't know. That's crazy. He's hundreds of thousands of votes. I've probably dropped at least 20 votes for De'Aaron so far, about the same for Sabonis. And Sabonis is even on the top 10 of the West front court. And so it boggles my mind. I always want to chalk it up to being a small market problem, but it really has not been a problem for OKC.
No.
No.
Or Tyrese Halliburton in Indiana. He's the number 1 vote getter in the East for guards.
Yeah. Even Chet Holmgren. I forget if he was like
he's 9 in the front court.
9.
Yeah.
And I'm just I am frustrated that Sabonis doesn't get the love. If it needs more pull from just the basketball generic fan to really help boost these guys, it's something. What is it that's not eye catching about these guys, Kings guys? I was pleased to hear that Ernie on the show Inside the NBA, Ernie did name Fox and Sabonis as who he would put in the West, but they were kind of towards the end of the list. And it does just, I leave such a scratch in my head as to what does it take to wow these guys, or wow even just the average fan, to get some more Sacramento love, where it's like a no-brainer. Oh, you gotta put these guys in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
Thanks for the call, Ted. Happy Friday. It's a great question.
Great question, yeah.
And we've talked about De'Aaron Fox, okay, and the fact that he doesn't. His 3-pointers, they're coming, right? But his hallmark, his calling card of he's not shooting from the logo and he's not dunking the basketball, which, by the way, I'm throwing out the window almost, because you have Shai Gilgeous, who he doesn't do any of that stuff either. He doesn't really play above the rim. He can hit threes, but he's not a sharp shooter like that. His highlights are, he's just kind of cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
So I do struggle to figure out what it is. I do think that the hype beast train is what's driving a Chet Holmgren. I just think OKC, it's not fair to compare the small markets, because what OKC has that the Kings don't is they're younger.
Yep.
And
they're young and exciting.
They're the hot young team that everybody wants to say, hey, we saw them coming. They're the pick. They're the pick. So everybody wants to hop on that hype train. The Kings just don't have that. And Sabonis, honestly, is it fair? Is this fair? Is Sabonis to Jokic, Damian Lillard to Steph?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
I know Damian Lillard is a star, but the way they play, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Jokic, the way he plays and he wins championships. No, he doesn't have highlights like that either, besides the crazy wild threes.
Right.
But you drop that down just a smidge. If Jokic wasn't in the league, Sabonis, I don't think, would have this problem.
Yeah.
But they already have their kind of do-it-all center that is kind of ho-hum in the way, not his numbers, but the way he does things. It's not as exciting as some of the other guys.
It just doesn't stand out. I mean, Sabonis' numbers don't stand out as much because it doesn't seem extraordinary. Like, what Sabonis does is extraordinary, but what Jokic does is mind-breaking.
Yes.
Like, he's got the triple-doubles with 10 assists, and, he's playing center, putting up triple-doubles every night. And, Sabonis is only 2 triple-doubles behind him, but it just doesn't feel as impactful. There's not as big of a separation from the rest of the group because you have guys like Jokic, or not guys, you have guy like Jokic out there. It definitely takes it away. And yeah, I mean, there's a great NBA meme of, Charizard is Jokic, Charmeleon is Sabonis, and Şengün is Charmander.
Right.
And yeah, for sure, in a different way, Steph and Dame and Trae Young or something like that.
Right.
You can
Buddy Hield.
He's like,
I'm kidding.
yeah, he's like still in the.
There are a bunch of people.
incubation
No, I am
chamber.
joking.
Yeah.
I am joking. But he was supposed to come out.
He sure was.
And be one of those
He sure
guys,
was.
and he wasn't. And you're always looking for him. But yeah, it's difficult.
It's
And
interesting.
I can see, and that's why we keep asking the question: is it just OKC fans voting more than Sacramento fans?
Not at this rate.
No.
I mean, when you have Shai getting 1.7 million votes, like that's more than OKC. Like that's national media. And a part of it, I think, is, frankly, playoff success too plays a lot of it. Like, even Shai was in the playoffs when he was on the Clippers. He's been on the playoffs a couple times with OKC, that Chris Paul season. I think being in the playoffs is really where you get everybody's eyes on you. And yes, De'Aaron was in the playoffs last year against Golden State, but that was for 7 games. It's kind of, in the mind of the NBA, that's like 3 rounds. By the time you're in the finals, it's like, oh yeah, that Kings Warriors series was fun a month and a half ago. So you got to be in the second round of the playoffs, knocking on the door of the third round of the playoffs to kind of be in the conversation for more than just, a week and a half. If you're on or headlining NBA Today for a month and a half instead of a week and a half, then you're just going to be in front of people more often, and they're going to be, we just joked about it with Grayson Allen, but we're going to be more familiar with your game as a nation. And so I think that's really what's plaguing Fox, and it's definitely plaguing Sabonis. I mean, Sabonis it's completely worked against him because the only games a lot of the nation has seen from him are those 7 Warrior games, and people were left wanting a little bit more from those.
When you look at the All-Star voting and where everybody is, right? I think you can look at everybody, and everybody kind of has a niche or a shtick, and unfortunately the Kings, they just don't have one. And honestly, there's no real other way to put this other than if I go through this list of the guards, right? You have Luka, who everybody loves Luka. Okay, he's the next coming of.
I mean, you also have international votes.
Votes. Steph is Steph. Shai Gilgeous is putting up crazy numbers. And can I say this just respectfully? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is very cool. He is.
Oh yeah.
The way he dressed, and this is not Alan. This is not washed up Alan Stiles talking. This is who that audience is, right? They like the fact that after he beats Steph Curry, he goes on Instagram and he posts highlights with a Drake type caption.
Yes.
And the way he dresses, that stuff rings.
Our guy Hunter Patterson for The Athletic, he writes a style like power ranking or a style report at the end of every week. And I think last year I asked him, like, who's your season of style MVP here? And his answer was Shai.
It matters. It matters. You have James Harden, who that's a bit surprising to me. I guess James Harden just always is going to have a crew, even if I thought a lot of people didn't like James Harden. Apparently, that's just not true.
Kyrie, you got Houston fans, and now you got LA fans working for him. No.
Kyrie is Kyrie. Anthony Edwards, the hype beast. He's in a Netflix movie.
But then even Anthony Edwards, I would say be more upset about. That's a 1-seed team, the possible future face of the NBA, and he's 6.
Right. Ja Morant is Ja Morant. I mean, some people think he's as influential or the most influential player. I saw this since Allen Iverson. That's what I saw. That's what I saw as far as guards and how that's concerned, and point guards.
Culture and style.
In terms of culture and style. De'Aaron Fox is 8. You have Devin Booker at 9, which I think that plays into the fact that he plays in Phoenix, because I would expect Devin Booker to be a little bit higher
than that.
Right. And he's with Kendall Jenner or whoever it was. You would think he'd be a bit higher. Klay Thompson is Klay Thompson. Golden State, they're always going to vote out. The front court is actually more confusing to me, because Şengün at 6 when Sabonis isn't on there is nuts to me.
It's crazy.
It's nuts to me. And Houston, to me, is not a big market. You can even have
guys like Kyle saying, like, oh, no, Şengün deserves to be an all-star. And, like, yeah, Houston is a bigger market than Sacramento. But even then, I wouldn't say, okay, let me guess, Alperen Şengün is 6th. That's insane.
That's 6.
That's insane. Man. That's way too much hype. And Şengün's played great. This isn't meant to demean Şengün at all. It's just Sabonis is a lot better, and it's more just if that guy's getting the attention for what he does, so much so that he's 6th, how can Sabonis, who's matching, if not much exceeding what Şengün's doing, how is he not even getting an honorable mention? Like, you get him at 9 or 10 at the very least.
I mean, Karl Anthony Towns in Minnesota, people roast Karl Anthony Towns all the time, and he's at 10. So something's not adding up to me. You got to go out, continue to vote, but honestly, it just seems like it's going to happen for Sabonis, but it's not going to happen from the fans. Let's not forget, this is only 50%.
Yes.
So
I think they only take the top 3 too.
So. Right. So to Ted and to everybody that's kind of worried about it, Sabonis should get in, but it's just a matter of the fans not voting him in or not having that 50%. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we see you, Phil. We'll get to you, and we want to break down the blowouts in the NBA. Is it a problem, and why is it happening? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payments with zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Buy the latest gear, meet the experts, learn about fishing, hunting, boating, and off-roading. See Toyota's all-new Tacoma. This is the place to discover your next adventure, nearby or around the world. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The Red and Gold's 2023 regular season campaign ended with a loss in Week 18, falling to their rivals from the South 21-20. Backup quarterback Sam Darnold played the entire contest, having a good first half with 2 total touchdowns and 169 passing yards. The second half is where things fell apart, allowing 14 unanswered points by the visitors. San Francisco now ends the regular season at 12-5, elated to have a first-round bye in the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
There are murmurs that are murmuring, and we will get into what we are hearing.
Sources are sourcing.
Sources are sourcing. Also on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, calls are calling. 916-339-1140.
Man,
Let's get out to Phil, who's been waiting through the break. What's up, Phil? What you got for us? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. What you got?
So I got a theory on why there's so many blowouts in the NBA this year.
Okay.
Oh, yes, we'd love to hear it.
All right. So last year you were able to rest your players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like on back-to-backs and everything. Maybe this year they're resting their players, but they're playing them, telling them to take it easy, and that's why there's so many blowouts. Theory.
Yeah, that's a good theory, Phil. And even if it's not that they are, I guess, because I've always thought that LeBron will rest during games, but even if it's not that they're resting during games, it could just be the fact that because of this new rule and the all NBA stuff, they're just playing more, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not even telling them to not play as hard. Maybe it's just happening organically because they're playing more because they're not resting as much. So that's a great call, Phil, as we discuss these two games last night. And the Kings have been on the bad side of it, and we've given the Kings a lot of grief. I haven't sat down, and we know the Kings, I think, going into this week, were the only team above 500 with a negative point differential.
Yeah.
They no longer have that,
Thankfully.
but they did. So even though we were trying to figure out, okay, is this a around the league thing or is this a Kings thing? It was still more of a Kings thing.
Yes.
But it does seem to be an issue. And the reason we bring this up is because the Celtics had to go Minnesota and then Milwaukee back to back.
Yeah.
And they started their guys and they ended up resting them anyway because they got their doors absolutely blown off.
Yeah.
It was 132 to 102, and it was even worse than that throughout the game.
I think Tatum played like 15 minutes.
Yeah, something bad like that. So you have that situation. This other situation, which isn't connected to the back-to-backs, is that the Blazers lost. And if you're driving, just hold on. This is not us making a mistake. If you're listening on YouTube, shout out to our Sac Chat, by the way. Wherever you're listening right now or watching us, this is not a typo. The Blazers lost to the Thunder 139 to 77. 139 to 77. 60 points.
62 of them.
62 points. You have, and I don't even know why they threw Scoot Henderson under the bus. They said Scoot Henderson posted the worst plus minus in NBA history during their 62-point loss to the Thunder.
You don't deserve
He
that,
was a
dude.
minus 56.
Second worst plus minus.
Second worst.
He's a minus 56.
56.
Come on. Put some respect on his name.
Sorry, Scoot.
Come on.
Sorry, man.
They are, yeah. I mean, that's not good, right? That's not really NBA quality. And that's what makes it so frustrating that the Sacramento Kings have made both of those games against the Blazers interesting ones.
That's right.
And it's not great. That's just not great. I don't really have much. I would love to hear what Portland radio has to say on a day like that.
You're just talking about Pete Carroll?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's up north.
just talking some Pete Carroll, maybe some Portland Pilots.
That's right.
Or something like that.
Because that is bad.
There's nothing there.
And yeah, the quick answer, now that's
Let's
different.
go get Jeremy Grant, though, right?
Yeah, let's go get Jeremy Grant. Okay, enough.
Sorry.
I don't know. Didn't you just continue to say it is not Jeremy Grant the player, it's Jeremy Grant the contract? Can you say that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the player's not perfect either, but
I can't. I just
people
can't.
love Jeremy Grant.
I like Jeremy Grant.
I like Jeremy Grant, but people love
I don't think you even like Jeremy Grant.
I do. I like the player Jeremy. I love Jeremy Grant, the role player. This Jeremy Grant.
Did he play last night?
He did. He sure did. No, he sure did.
I don't think he did. No,
he
I don't
sure did.
No.
Played 24 minutes and he was a minus 40.
No, I don't think
he
he did.
Minus 40.
I'm not sure that he played last night. I'll have to check that myself.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's. Go ahead though. Bring him over. He's going to be the answer.
That's not on Jeremy Grant.
I mean, he's getting paid by far the most, so he should have some say in it. I would hope,
I
do
just,
something.
Well, can you just stop saying that you like Jeremy Grant?
I like Jeremy Grant, the role player. I like Jeremy Grant when he was back in Denver, way back.
All right.
Then all of a sudden he started shooting the ball, and I was like, my goodness, this guy does not stop.
I'm just gonna leave it 139-77. Yep. They all get blamed. I mean, 62.
That's wild.
Points.
That's wild.
That's insanity.
You got to leave at that point.
That's got to be the worst of the season, right?
It has to be. It has to be.
It has to be.
There's no way. I mean, there's no way a team can. I mean, especially with how teams hit threes nowadays, it's like, come on, like 70, and to finish with 77 is like, that's almost more insane than getting blown out by 62.
Jeremy Grant had 9 points.
It's like, at least let it be a pacer game. At least let it be like 100 to 162, but to only put up 77, y'all aren't even showing up.
I think that's what's scary about the Thunder team is they're not a young team that it's all one guy. They distribute the basketball so well. And you look at this box score, and yes, they beat the brakes off the Blazers, obviously. Yeah. But Dort...
I'm sorry, but like, what is Chauncey Billups doing? What has Chauncey Billups done his entire time in Portland? I have not understood that even a little bit.
He's big shot Billups.
He sure is. He sure is.
And he probably won't be there very much longer. They just want to get them to respectable.
Sure.
And they'll let him go when they underperform, and then they'll bring somebody else. Yep. That's how it works in coaching. It's the same thing with Monty Williams out there. They don't expect him to completely turn it around. We're paying you to make us respectable. Yep. And when you hit your ceiling, we'll move forward. So Dort, 11 points. I like Jalen Williams a lot. 21 points. Chet, 19. Giddey, 13. Shea, 31.
Giddey had a triple-double too, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yes, he did. Trey Mann, 11. That's what's scary about that team. When the Kings want to blitz somebody and get the ball out of somebody's hands, they say, okay. Yeah. Because they got ball handlers and they're all long. They don't have that strapping 7-footer, right? Because Chet is a little slight, right? But at the same time, that's how they play. But Kings continue to say it.
2-0.
Kings 2-0 against them. One of those wins without De'Aaron Fox. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we are talking about the coaching carousel and also the change in management for the Niners with Adam Peters out. How important is it for the Niners to get it done this season? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sunday on Sactown Sports, you get the best of both worlds. First at 9:30, Super Wild Card Weekend continues as Mike Tomlin has his Steelers back in the postseason as they face Josh Allen and the 2-seed Buffalo Bills. Then we switch to the court as the Kings road trip continues to Milwaukee as Fox and Sabonis battle Giannis and Lillard at 4. The NFL and NBA Sunday on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit Abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Well, it's the new year, so the big question is, what's happening at Hoblet for Chrysler's Start Something New sales event?
We're starting the year off with even more savings. Right now, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 2500 heavy-duty trucks with no payments for 90 days. That means you can get the new personal or company truck you've been needing and not make a payment for 3 months.
But why choose Hoblet versus all the other guys?
Because we not only have the best savings, we have the best selection of the hard-to-find heavy-duty trucks you need. Plus, when you come to Hoblet, you get the big city savings with the small town family feel. There's a reason why so many of our customers buy from us over and over again.
See our full inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. 15,000 total net savings after 98.34 factory rebates and 51.66 dealer discount. Rebates may include 1,000 Case equipment bonus cash. Must have purchased qualifying new equipment from Case dealer. No payments for 90 days through Chrysler Capital on approved credit. 10th is net savings. See dealer for details.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. with Nate Littlefield behind the glass, doing a great job for us as always. Have some Giants news here from Jeff Passan. Breaking, I don't know if I would call it breaking, but Jordan Hicks and the San Francisco Giants are in agreement on a 4-year, $44 million contract. A source familiar with the deal tells ESPN. Hicks is 27, is expected to work as a starter after spending the majority of his career in the bullpen. Now, that is the kicker for me right there. Jordan Hicks, I believe he was with the Cardinals for a while, then most recently with the Blue Jays. This is from Alex Pavlovich. Jordan Hicks is fascinating. He has thrown 5 innings just once in the big leagues, but it was against the Giants 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And he was sitting at 99 in the 5th inning. Yeah, we know he throws cheddar. We know he throws gas. It's risky. This is Alex again. It's risky, but you can see why they're intrigued. I think he throws gas, and I think he can be a good pitcher, but yeah.
Is this the point where the Giants are at now, though, where they have to – I mean, I don't know how big of a risk you would say, but, like, you know, this is where they're at?
Here's I think, the problem. And this is why people have gotten on the Giants, because I think if you read that, to me, what this tells me is that the word starter is not what it used to mean. And the OGs of the world that can't stand how the Giants platoon.
The openers, right.
That's what I'm looking at here. If you have only thrown over 5 innings once, and it was 2 years ago, and now you're 27, you're in your prime, don't get me wrong, they're not thinking that Jordan Hicks is going to throw more than 6 innings here. It's just an extent, you know what I mean?
Because that was a Farhan-led thing, wasn't it? That wasn't necessarily a Kapler
It wasn't
decision.
a Kapler thing. I never thought it was a Kapler thing. So I think that, hey, he's going to be a starter for us, but Jordan Hicks is not going to be throwing into the 9th inning. He's not going to be throwing complete games. So that's how I read that. It's just an extended opener that we feel like we can use, and if it doesn't work, he can throw Cheddar out of the bullpen.
Right.
That's how I see this. So Giants making some moves here. They're in on some folks. They're out on some folks.
Glad that they actually got somebody signed.
They got somebody. They had to promise.
Too many rumors, and then and next day they end up signing.
That's right.
We just did the Marcus Stroman thing.
Marcus Stroman, who we spoke about yesterday, I believe. Marcus Stroman signed with the Yankees, I believe, 2 years. So Marcus Stroman is off the board as well. So you get a Jordan Hicks, and all you had to do is tell somebody who's never started before, never thrown more than 5 innings besides one time, that you can come and start for us. That's how the Giants have to get guys nowadays. So hopefully that works out for the Giants. Had to get to
real
that
quick
news.
too. In a weird way, that's kind of the fear for the Malik Monk free agency, to turn it back to the Kings, is somebody looks at Malik and says, hey man, like, we can pay you similar, if not more money than you're getting in Sacramento, and we're willing to offer you a starting role.
Yeah.
Is that more intriguing than going back to Sacramento, a situation you're familiar with, and, have some relationships there, have some comfort there? It's kind of, I mean, you could see how, a dude would say, I'd be down to kind of, especially again, Jordan Hicks 27, Malik 25 years old. Now is kind of the time to take that leap. Try if it's ever going to happen for you. It's probably going to happen now. Of course, Jordan with the starter and Malik with the starter is a little bit different, but to me, it's a similar kind of negotiation possibly.
Yeah. So good on the Giants for getting somebody.
Definitely.
You got to take risks, and I'm not a Giants fan who's just going to complain. I think some fans in general, not just Giants fans, some sports fans, they like to complain. They make it their identity. I'm just going to complain about everything the GM does. I'm going to complain about everything my team does, and that's just fun to me. I'm not one of those Giants fans. I'm just more of a guy who I just want to see it on the field, right? And we can sit here and we can speculate whatever big names are still around. Still go get a Cody Bellinger. Still go get some guys. I think Matt Chapman, you get to, you were in Oakland and you balled out. You've cooled off a bit.
Got that Bob Melvin experience.
Exactly. You got your money. Okay, now come back and have a kind of resurgence in your career. I mean, you signed Evan Longoria, who, God bless him, he was still playing. He was in the World Series. I couldn't believe that.
Couldn't.
He was washed when he came to the Giants.
I know, it's so crazy.
That was 4 or 5 years ago.
And he was like he was playing
an everyday guy.
Oh my God.
Well, he wasn't every day for the Diamondbacks, but he was getting starts in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So you never know who can work out for you. And it's all about windows, which is where we want to take this conversation with Adam Peters, now head of football ops for the Commanders, leaving his assistant GM job for the 49ers. And here we have a list, Chris, of who the Niners have lost within this kind of run.
Nate,
so far.
Also feel free to chime in here if I forgot anything on this list. This was all off the top of my head.
Right. Mike McDaniels, D'Amico Ryans, Robert Saleh, Adam Peters, Rand Carthen. And this is the first time, or not the first time, but the coaching is one thing. Now we're going up top. And now we're going to the people that do the grocery shopping. Okay, you have those who cook the meal, the coaches. Then you have the people that go grocery shopping for you. And if you're not picking the right products, that meal might not be as good. And that's how I look at this, because the more this starts to happen, do you feel like you can continue to keep your head above water? Chris, they got to win this thing this year. I'm just telling you,
it's
man.
Getting close, man. It's definitely, I mean, a move like losing Adam Peters feels like it's definitely shrinking that window, right? Because it's like, especially with how the Niners are built right now with all of the high salaries and all that, you got guys like Trent Williams who might be on his way out, not this year, but maybe after next year. You got to replace those guys at some point. And, if you're losing the guy, like you're saying, who buys the groceries, you could see how, the next guy who comes in might not be as talented or might have to go through some lumps before he gets to the point where he's at the level where the Niners are expected to be at. It's just tough, man. It's really tough. And I thought, after they lose DeMeco Ryans last offseason, I was like, how many times can you change just the defensive coordinators and have it continue to work out? And I guess, a little bit with Steve Wilkes, they didn't really overhaul the defense. It was more of, hey, this is what we do. I need you to become accustomed with what we do. So maybe that's the answer, is they're just going to have their built-in systems, and the people who come in are going to have to learn the Niners way instead of them implementing their own way. But at some point, I mean, I brought up the Bill Belichick example. At some point, you just get picked off enough. The vultures come and pick off the body parts, and then all you're left with is the carcass. And it's like, that's why Bill Belichick's got his son as the whatever defensive coordinator. It's because at some point you just need to get guys who it's like, I know he's not going to leave. And, it does feel like with success comes the vultures. And yeah, I mean, the Niners have lost their OC. They've now lost 2 defensive coordinators, possibly a third coming up, and now an assistant GM. At some point, it's going to be too much.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, there's a team back east that might have just what the Kings need. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and all NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have, because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I tried to quit smoking cigarettes probably hundreds of times over the years. 2 or 3 days into quitting again, I go get into a vehicle, and guess what? There's a pack of cigarettes in there. I mean, I've got the unlit cigarette in my hand. And I said to myself, why do I even try to quit if I'm going to cave so easily every time? Something clicked in my head that told me I can do this.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast. With a buck here, a buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore. Great selection, great factory financing and incentive, and great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Get your retirement savings to play ball with your retirement plan. Call Cap Trust today at 916-924-7527 or log on to captrust.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Tape it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We have, if you are a college fan or if your team, your football team, your NFL team stinks, we have breaking news. This is from Wesley Steinberg an hour ago. USC quarterback Caleb Williams wants assurances that the Bears will be trading the first overall pick before declaring for the draft.
What?
Williams and his camp have no interest in playing in Chicago. Wesley Steinberg is NFL and New York Giants insider. Yep. This was an hour ago.
This man's pulling an Eli?
He's pulling an Eli. Well, where do you, I mean, what are you going to give him a list? You want to give the NFL a list?
Is this part of the danger? Is this like the new dangers of the NIL? Is that you could turn down pro money and say, you know, actually, I'm doing pretty fine for myself.
Right. I got a gray
USC.
shirt somewhere. I can go back again.
Well, who's number 2? I haven't looked at the NFL draft order yet. I mean, because I mean, even if the Bears trade their pick, I mean, where is he open to go? And also, that's, you know, pretty presumptuous on Caleb Williams' part, to just assume. I mean, I heard a lot more hype about Drake May recently than Caleb Williams going number 1. So I wonder how much of that
that's
is
also a crazy assumption that you are. I mean, to start the season you were, but things have changed a little bit.
So I don't think that's still the case.
Got a little news here from our guy Joe Jarose here.
Okay.
Just came in with he's heard that this news you're hearing from this account, it could be a parody account.
Okay.
So I don't know if
Joe was quick on that.
I don't know if you want to things come out hot. So
yeah, this guy 12,000 followers, NFL and New York Giants insider. Yeah.
What's his name?
Wesley Steinberg.
Okay. As long as it's not like Ben Dover or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Joe. This is a crazy world, man.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have?
I'm looking at the tweet too.
Well,
and
let's just discuss this.
I feel like I've seen this guy before, and it's possibly been wrong before.
Okay,
but who knows?
So do you have to essentially you see something like that?
Yep.
And you then search. Do you have to now? Because we used to get upset. We used to get annoyed when Adam Schefter is this. Because actually, I'm just thinking about this. Because Adam Schefter tweets something, right? Then Ari Meirov tweets the same exact thing per Adam Schefter. Then Adam Schefter retweets what Ari just tweeted. Is that them saying, hey, guys, this is legit? Like, when you see news now, do you have to make sure you see it from multiple accounts?
I guess especially in the news breaking sense, I guess you kind of do because of how sources disperse their information. More times than not, it's usually not just going to one person. And so I guess so. Yeah. I mean, if an NFL thing is going to get dropped like that, let's say, I mean, you would assume at the very least, Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport will confirm, and that's not even throwing in Schefter and like you said, the Aries of the world and the ML football and all that stuff. It's tough. It's borderline impossible. I struggle still with the fake Woj accounts. I can't even figure out if this is
our guy,
the real
Isaiah
Thomas.
Thomas. Isaiah Thomas got earlier this season.
Yeah, what was it?
Earlier this week that he got signed to the Charlotte Hornets.
Right.
And I think he caught wind and he was excited, and it's sad.
It's sad.
It's literally sad,
Crazy.
man. So, yeah, apologies if that isn't true. It seems to maybe not be true. I guess you just got to triple, double, quadruple.
I guess. Because, I'm looking at this dude. He's got an official looking picture. He's got, like you said, 12,000 followers. This is more of a Twitter issue, but he's got the check mark, which I guess nowadays officially
that doesn't mean anything.
Means absolutely nothing. But, it's weird times.
All righty. We'll
see.
Yeah. Moving on, having the conversation about the Wizards, and there have been discussions and things that we've heard about the Kings, and it doesn't matter if you heard it or not. The Kings need to upgrade the backup point guard position.
Yes.
Okay. Keon Ellis, great story.
Yeah.
Davion Mitchell, not really what you were hoping him to be. You saw Colby Jones a couple games ago. All right. So they would like to upgrade the point guard position. They can get a lot from that team in the East, who, by the way, speaking of the backup point guard position, Ryan Rollins, and this is confirmed, Ryan Rollins, who got drafted to the Warriors, right? A lot of people were excited for him. He got drafted to the Warriors, was part of the trade with Jordan Poole to Washington. He got caught on multiple occasions, I guess, shoplifting, and not just shoplifting expensive things. He got caught shoplifting daily items, okay, from shampoo and different things like that. This is from Josh Robbins covering the Washington Wizards for The Athletic. So we got confirmation here. Former Washington Wizards and Golden State Warriors guard Ryan Rollins. Actually, he had just been waived. And I looked up his total earnings, and he had already made about $1 million, almost $1.1 million he was set to make in total with the between the Wizards and the Warriors, $3.4 million. He was waived. Former Washington Wizards and Golden State Warriors guard Ryan Rollins has been accused of shoplifting, with incidents alleged to have occurred from mid-September to mid-November in Alexandria, Virginia. So he was still on the team. And he was basically shoplifting, like I said, items like shampoo and things like that. So pretty sad situation for Ryan Rollins. And I hear that, Chris, you know what I think?
Who is he?
No, I was going to say, you know what I think? They could use a guy in a suit. They could use a guy to make sure they stay on the right path.
Yeah.
They could use Harrison Barnes.
They sure could.
And we're a wizard.
Harrison Barnes.
Yes, you are a wizard.
I think that came in just a little bit too strong, Nate. I think just a little bit.
Harrison Barnes, you can be a wizard. So what do you got for him, Chris? Kuzma, Tyus?
Dude, this is so weird because this is one of the worst teams in the NBA record-wise. But I look at the players on this roster, and there's so many role players that I feel like could help this Sacramento Kings team today. Of course, there's the big fish. If the Kings want to do a really big move, Kyle Kuzma's name is out there. I mean, he was, rumored to have some interest in joining Sacramento this offseason. Obviously decided to sign with the Wizards, 4 years, 90. Could the Kings, look to ship off Harrison Barnes and get some of these guys back in return with Kuzma? That would probably be the most likely scenario. Tyus Jones, I mean, I think Tyus Jones is he is the quintessential backup quarterback conversation where he's the guy that everyone loves and is like, why can't we get the backup point guard more time?
Yeah.
And that's the exact kind of guy the Kings need, somebody who can orchestrate that second unit, take the ball out of Malik's hands just so, it's not all on him to create everything. He can play a little bit more off ball. Love Tyus. I've loved Daniel Gafford since the day he was drafted. He's a long, versatile dude who just knows his role. Frankly, I think Alex Len has filled the role well enough to where you don't need to bring in a guy who's getting paid 3 years, $40 million. DeLon Wright, somebody who's already been here in Sacramento for a cup of coffee, bigger point guard. He's really a Swiss Army knife. Like he's pretty much the ultimate, jack of all trades, master of none point guard. He's somebody who you could just use as a good body. And then Denny Advia, to me, is the one where I know he just signed an extension, 5 years, $61 million extension. So, it's not nothing. I think that's somewhere near $12 to $13 million a year. But Denny is not your typical, non-American player. Like when you think of, your European players, you think of a guy who can shoot, might be physical, but isn't like overly physical, over athletic, anything like that. Denny's almost the complete opposite of that. He's a grinder. I looked it up. He's got 11 straight games with at least one steal. So he's a defensive minded dude, not really much of a shooter either, which is the interesting part. And just a dude who's like gonna be a really great role player. And you throw on the fact he's like 6'8", 6'9". Sounds like exactly what the Kings need.
Yeah, no, my question is, Denny, is he too similar? I know he doesn't shoot the three ball, and that's essentially, that's what the Kings do. Okay, of course, and
he can put the ball on the deck.
Well, and that's really, I guess I'm worried about redundancy just specifically with Denny and Trey Lyles a little bit.
No, I wouldn't think so. Yeah, I think you could play those two together actually, and it would be a really good front court. I think you could probably put Trey at center and put Denny at power forward, and you should probably be able to rock with that.
Well, you can't. Okay, well, you cannot have them all.
What do you mean?
You cannot have all the Wizards, Chris. So
just give me like two of them.
Who are your top two?
I do think Kuzma. If you can get Kuzma for Harrison Barnes and maybe, I think if you can maybe do a 3 for 2, or I don't think a 3 for 3 would work out, but I do think if you could get Kuzma, Denny, and Tyus Jones, or two of those three, I think that's exactly what the Kings need in some variation of them, because I think if you bring Tyus and Denny off the bench, that's making your bench unit so much better. And we've talked about how, there's been a lot of, we know Sabonis and Fox are going to step up. You hope Keegan Murray can step up. Malik has stepped up more times than not. If you can add to the list of guys who can possibly contribute, I like that. But Kuzma's the one where I've been talking myself in and out of Kyle Kuzma ever since the summer, and I'm currently at the position where I feel like I'm all in on Kuzma. I'm willing to take the risk. It's not that much money. It's not my boy Jeremy Grant level money. It's a happy medium between Barnes and Grant in terms of contract, and you're banking on not necessarily upside, but you're banking on the fact that Kyle Kuzma can maybe be a different player in a different situation than he's in now. Like right now, he's pulling. He's going to be the high scorer on the Wizards. They need that from him. Kings need him to score, especially if he's going to be in that lineup replacing HB, but they don't. It's not a requirement for him. It's an additive boost. It's more so in a playoff series, you're bringing in Kyle Kuzma because you need someone to go stop KD. We've seen Kings don't have an answer for a guy like Brandon Ingram. Can the Kings put him on Paul George in the playoffs? That's how Kyle Kuzma would earn his trade value for the Kings if they bring him in, is by being able to be an answer for the Kings. Have no answer for these guys who have length. And if Kyle Kuzma can help just massage that a little bit, I think it's more than worth the risk, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I would take Kuzma and Tyus every day of the week.
Yeah.
I have no clue what that price tag would look like.
Yeah. I mean, because you're going to throw out All Reliable, right? It's going to be HB. It's going to probably be Herter.
Who's out tonight.
Yeah.
He's
out tonight.
Yeah.
Or Davion. You probably don't need to send all three, but even if they have to, even if that's what Washington wants and they're not budging, I'd probably consider it just because those are three guys you're not getting
because they're going to be blowing it up.
Possibly, but even then, you can throw them like a future pick, like one that probably is a lot riskier, but it's not affecting you in the immediate. Like you can give them a 2029 Kings first, which is scary because we don't know what this team is going to look like in 5 years. I mean, they just went through 16 years of bad teams and they've had 1.5 successful years.
Right.
It's a pretty good bet to say 5 years down the road, things might not look how they look now. So that would probably be the pick that if they were to throw it in, it'd probably be a future pick.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing the conversation. Yes, we're going tinfoil hats because we might have the answer as to who is starting tonight with Kevin Herter out. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. We got you till 2 p.m. The bad boys of the midday with Nate Littlefield hanging out with us behind the glass. Thank you, Nate. Doing a great job as always. We saw from our guy, Chris Biederman, that the black jersey, which denotes the starter, we had a conversation. Could it actually be Trey Lyles? Now, we did caveat everything saying it probably won't be.
Yeah.
But we're going to have this conversation anyway because it's fun. And Chris Duarte was in the starter's jersey earlier today, which means that he will probably be starting in Kevin Herter's place tonight against the 76ers.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we said yesterday, it's to be expected at this point. I guess, Mike Brown's probably thinking, much like he was thinking when he first threw Duarte in there against Memphis, let's at least to start the game, we'll put Duarte probably on Tyrese Maxey, who with Embiid out, you would assume you can slow down or stop Maxey, then you'll probably have a much better shot of winning the game. So I don't hate it. Definitely don't love it. And if I had to guess, if I had to put my predictor hat on, I'd probably say Duarte is going to play under 15, right? Like if that's just been the trend,
He's an
right?
opener.
He is. He is the opener. We got Farhan apparently in our front office because that's been Duarte's role every time he's come in that starting lineup. It's been to start the game. He plays about the first 6 minutes and then doesn't play again the rest of the half, and then he'll check in for the first rotation of that second half, play about 6 minutes, and you won't see him again. So I don't know why we would expect anything else tonight.
Well, we'll see what happens, right? We went through the Sixers lineup and who they've been starting yesterday. We can do it again today. I think that, I think the bottom line is, I guess it doesn't really matter. It is kind of what Coach Mike Brown is telling us. When the game is on the line, we know who everybody's going to go to, and that's ultimately what is more important. So you'll have Tobias Harris, Nicholas Batum, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Kelly Oubre.
Ooh.
So you will have Fox checking Maxey. You'll have Sabonis, not checking Embiid. So Paul Reed is who he would have to be checking. And then you're going to have, I guess, Chris Duarte on Kelly Oubre.
Yeah, I guess
Batum?
to start the game, he'd probably to start the game again, I would probably have Duarte on Maxey.
Yeah.
And then
Get some fouls.
play Fox off ball. But then to close the game, I mean, if they're gonna have Malik out there, I guess you probably put Malik on Kelly Oubre and that you should be fine there. I mean, Oubre is kind of a corner 3 merchant a bit, so
and he's going to blow you a kiss. He's going to blow you a kiss.
Tsunami Poppy, right?
Tsunami Poppy.
Come
oh
on.
my goodness.
Come on.
Yeah. So we'll see what the 76ers have in store.
I'm looking at their
Kings.
last box score. They lost to Atlanta in overtime on Tuesday, and it's looking like, just from the shot distribution, heavy Tyrese Maxey. He took 29 shots in 43 minutes. Tobias Harris took 24 shots in 41 minutes. And then, our guy Tsunami Poppy took 11 shots in 32 minutes. Also, your boy Marcus Morris Sr. took 9 shots in 26 minutes. So,
by the way,
really just a couple guys.
Marcus Morris Sr., we talked about him getting the key to the city.
Yeah.
He is from Philly.
Yeah.
That's why he got it.
Yeah.
That's why he
That
got
was
it.
a really cool moment. I saw the
I saw it all get posted.
He was emotional about it.
Good for him, but hopefully the Kings get it done. I would have liked to see Trey Lyles in the starting lineup. You know what's bothering me about it, and I think bothering other Kings fans?
What's that?
That I believe he's earned it. Why is it that other guys, you can either play yourself out of the starting lineup or you can play yourself into the starting lineup? Mm-hmm. It's just a consistency or lack thereof with coach, because certain guys can play themselves out of the starting lineup. Harrison Barnes cannot.
He cannot.
Okay. Certain guys can play themselves into the starting lineup. Trey Lyles cannot.
Sure.
And honestly, we're not talking about it because there's a reason, but and Malik Monk cannot.
Yeah.
Right. And that's probably a different conversation. Sure. So I don't know, man. It would have been nice. Hey, national televised game. I know Harrison didn't. The problem is Harrison is going to do a little bit of something every other game, right? So, and the little bit of something could be smaller, right? So you sit there and you don't give other guys opportunities. I know Coach Mike Brown said that this is the most connected he ever felt, the team has ever been, but it's got to bother somebody.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. It's got to bother somebody, because you can't talk about accountability. And he even talks about more so how he learned this from Greg Popovich. He'll condemn De'Aaron just as hard as he condemns Colby Jones. And it's about everyone can get this equal opportunity screaming. But it seems like, even if that is true, it does seem like almost Harrison Barnes is held in a different regard. And it hasn't just been a Mike Brown thing either. It's been Kings coaches in the past have just let Harrison be Harrison and not affected him at all, hasn't ever called him out. It's always been Harrison does exactly what we need Harrison to do.
Point.
And don't ever criticize him, because he always does things that's the don't show up in the box score thing, all that stuff that are cliches. But maybe it's because he's such a great leader. Maybe it's because he is so composed. Maybe it is because he is a shining example of what a professional should be and how you should handle your business. But it feels like, for whichever one of those you want to pick, it does feel like Harrison Barnes is given a favorable treatment. And, frankly, with the way he's played, it's much deserving of a benching. At the very least, I mean, we've seen his role be reduced. I mean, what did he play the other night? He played 13 minutes. JTA plays 14. So it's not like he's being completely excused. But if Kevin Huerter can get pulled from the starting lineup for his play, Harrison Barnes is definitely deserving of being pulled for his play. And if you're Sasha, I mean, we're talking yesterday about why Sasha can't get minutes, but it's not just Sasha. Maybe it's JTA. Maybe it is Chris Duarte as well. I'd be wondering if not publicly, but at least with my inner circle, like, do you see this favorable treatment? Y'all know the player I am. I mean, I'm not saying I'm Michael Jordan here, but if I were putting together those performances, how would it look? What would it look like? How would coach treat me? There's no way those conversations aren't being had within or outside of the locker room.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, talking about De'Aaron Fox's numbers. They're down, but is it a big deal? Maybe it's better for the team. We see you, Edward. We see you, Steven. We'll get to you when we get back on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The Red and Gold's 2023 regular season campaign ended with a loss in Week 18, falling to their rivals from the South 21-20. Backup quarterback Sam Darnold played the entire contest, having a good first half with 2 total touchdowns and 169 passing yards. The second half is where things fell apart, allowing 14 unanswered points by the visitors. San Francisco now ends the regular season at 12-5, elated to have a first-round bye in the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
The PGA Club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. During the break, I sent out a post on X about Giants fans being one of the most miserable fan bases that I've been a part of, and people aren't happy.
I would assume
people are not happy. But look, I'm
miserable.
I'm not thrilled with what the Giants have done the last couple years either. I just don't have energy to complain about every single thing. I'm just to the point where, number one, I'm going to wait and see it play out. The offseason isn't over. They've made more moves, I would say, this season than they have in years past.
Yep.
And number two, I complain with my wallet. Okay, that's how I complain.
Right. Don't go to the
game. If you don't like it, don't go to the game.
That's how you should boo, Kyle.
Come on. Yes, that's how you should boo Kyle. Kyle's probably listening. Nate, we'll get your take on booing, because Kyle was not a fan of us booers. We are quote unquote whack. The whack attack. 916-339-1140. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get out to Edward, who's been hanging on. What's up, Edward? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Hey guys, changing gears just a bit. 2 questions. One, the NBA Player of the Week, is that Saturday through Sunday or Monday through Saturday? Yes, Sunday through Saturday or Monday through Sunday?
I believe
it's Monday to Monday.
Yeah, Monday to Monday.
Monday to Monday.
Okay, that's good. Number 2, have there ever been co-Players of the Week?
I'm pretty sure there have been.
I don't know. I know that, I think it was in 2017 or 16, the Atlanta Hawks had their starting 5 be the Players of the Month. Mm-hmm. So I would assume for if the situation calls for it, sure.
Okay, because my point is, at the moment, I would say that Keegan and Domas are the 2 favorites for Player of the Week, assuming it goes Monday through Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you were looking, everybody rests their stars. And people have talked about Fox's left wrist.
Right.
There could not be a better time to rest him than tonight. You got Keegan and Domas who are hot. You give them a chance to go for the co-Players of the Week.
Mm-hmm.
And you get De'Aaron some rest before 2 tough games. So that's all I got. I'll take the answer off the air. Thanks.
No, that's a good call, Edward. We spoke about that a little bit yesterday as well, because we spoke about it actually a couple days ago, because the conversation was, should De'Aaron or Sabonis play against the Hornets, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Which they both did. But I think, well, number one, isn't the way the rules are set up now, if there's nothing wrong with De'Aaron, they get fined. They can't sit De'Aaron tonight.
Not for a national TV
it's a nationally
game.
televised game, so they cannot sit De'Aaron tonight. I think the best opportunity would have been against the Hornets, even though they wanted to get that first back-to-back win. So, yeah.
Even then, I mean, Player of the Week is fine, but it's definitely not something that you should ever aim for.
No,
it should just be something that happens in the week. And, if it happens, that's great, but it should not be something that you position yourself for solely to get. I mean, frankly, it's a meaningless award. It's a nice, acknowledgement of your play, but, I don't think anybody should be losing sleep over the fact that Alperen Şengün last week got the Western Conference Player of the Week.
No, but at the same time, I mean, he's to that point, he is in number 6 in All-Star voting, and Sabonis is not.
No, for sure.
I'm not saying to position yourself.
I don't think that's going to help his all-star case.
To me, it's more about I don't think De'Aaron has completely looked healthy.
Right.
Wherever you're at with the player of the week thing is fine. I don't think De'Aaron has really looked healthy and probably could use a day, but I just don't know when he's going to get it. I mean, we've talked about last season. De'Aaron did the same thing last season. Obviously, it was playoffs. He wasn't going to sit, but they've all collectively said, yeah, we played a lot more than other teams. So that's just their MO. That's kind of part of, I think, their DNA. So I don't know when De'Aaron's going to sit.
Could
if
be
he
the
doesn't
home
have
game.
an actual injury.
They have like that 2-game home stretch after that Phoenix game. Maybe you look at that. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton isn't going to be playing for the Pacers, so
I like that.
Maybe you say, yeah, hey, Sabonis, here's a nice little stage for you. Go ahead and cook your former team, and it's all on you, and all the eyes are on you. De'Aaron won't take any focus, and then I think the Kings have a second home game that week as well. So if you wanted to just kind of give De'Aaron a week off, yeah, they play the Pacers next Thursday, and then they play the Atlanta Hawks on Monday on national TV before playing the Warriors again on Thursday. So you could give De'Aaron a full week rest, a week plus of rest, if you sit him those 2 home games after they come back after Phoenix. So
they wouldn't sit somebody back-to-back games if they don't have an injury on the list.
I mean, but if our assumptions are correct and there is something, whether it be his hip, his wrist, whatever, you could just say hip inflammation and he's out. I mean, it's really as simple as that. You can still make things up or not necessarily make them up, but I'm sure all of these guys have nicks and bruises that you could put on the injury report, but you're not going to because you don't want to give the opponents any edge. But if you're going to sit out anyway, I'm sure De'Aaron could come up with an injury or two that's ailing him.
Yeah, 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Steven, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Steven? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Good morning, boys. How you guys doing?
Great.
We're good.
Perfect. So I feel like we got I've been doing I don't know about a lot of thinking, but this past I would say hour or so, I feel like we got a better chance to bolster the bench with some of the moves that we got instead of finding a starter quality level player. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, because if we were to, hypothetically speaking, move Monk to the starting lineup, hypothetically speaking, let's just say, I know we've been on this conversation for weeks now, but if we were to move him to the starting lineup, do you guys feel like we would have a better option with the players that are out there and available to bolster the bench to kind of replace that energy more so, like with a Tyus Jones, or I don't know if DeAndre Hunter is out there? I don't really know. I'm just throwing names out there, really. But what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in general, I've been more of a proponent of the Kings not going and getting Jeremy Grant, going Pascal Siakam, getting Kyle Kuzma. I've been more of the, go target the Alex Carusos and the Denny Advias, the Tyus Joneses of the world. I think this team would be much better suited, especially with the assets that they have to give up. Makes a lot more sense to try and, turn Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter into 2 or 3 players instead of shipping off 3 players and just putting it all in the Kyle Kuzma, all in the Pascal Siakam, all in the Zach LaVine bucket. It's just a lot more risky if you're going to go out there and get the big name as opposed to some of the fringe. Again, Alex Caruso to me is the name that I'm looking at.
Yeah, and, to me, we have to have a conversation, and I don't know how comfortable of a conversation it is, but we're going to have it here anyway, because the same way, it's different, right? But the same way we asked the question about Kevin Huerter and where he falls as a starter, I like Malik Monk. I think he's exciting, but Malik Monk is a guy that, even though he's played so many minutes, we've still only seen him in doses. And I don't know if we're talking championship caliber. I don't know who else is out there.
Yeah.
But my question is Malik Monk, are we sure that Malik Monk is a starter caliber player on a championship team? I'm more sure than Kevin Huerter.
That's a great question.
But
also in the sense of if Malik's your starter, you're probably like with Kevin Huerter as the starter, it was okay to have Malik Monk as his backup because you knew there were still going to be minutes for Malik. If Malik is your starter, are you then giving up on looking for a backup for him is also part of that equation as well. Like, are you just saying, no, Malik is always going to be in our closing lineup, and we're just like, we're going to look for a better backup 3 or a better backup point guard instead, and just kind of punt on having really good shooting guard or guy next to De'Aaron minutes? I definitely wonder that too, because Malik is great offensively, super fun. But if you're starting him or finishing with him and De'Aaron every night, you got 2 guards who are below 6'4". Malik in general isn't a good defender. So, if you're talking NBA finals,
that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
You got to get a stop, and you're going against a team that has 1 or 2 elite guards or elite ball handlers. Do you trust that Malik Monk and De'Aaron, or the combo of the two, are going to be able to get stops? And I definitely wonder, and I wonder the same thing with Kevin Huerter, so it's not just a Malik Monk thing, but I do wonder, like, is Malik that good of a fit? Is Malik that good of a player that you can't take him off the floor in those final minutes? We know what he gives offensively, but again, if you're putting him in Sharpie in that final lineup, well, then I need you every single night can't just be offense.
That's right. And yeah, I think Malik championship 6-man.
Totally.
I think that's not even a question. Yeah. But the other question is, well, guys, if there is nobody better, then what are we talking about?
Sure.
And you just got to rock and roll with what you got.
Definitely.
And I'm not necessarily, I guess there's a long-term conversation.
You can do a lot worse than Malik.
Yes, there's a long-term conversation, and then there's a short-term conversation. Yep. If we're talking about it in the short-term aspect, as far as Steven is concerned, sure, why not? But with every game where they decide not to do it, that's another game that, in turn, if you do decide to do it, that transition is going to take a while.
Yep.
So we're getting pretty close to Mike Brown being able to say, guys, we got 2 months left of the season.
Yep.
I can't put Malik in the starting lineup. You know what I mean? Now he's kind of positioned himself to be able to do that from refusing to initially put him in the starting lineup. But I can hear him now saying that in the pregame presser when somebody still feels like they have to ask if they don't make a move. We're still, this is assuming that they don't make a move, but hopefully they do. But if they don't, I think you get to February and the playoffs, the season ends April 20th.
Mm-hmm.
You get to February, it's hard for me to believe. You get to February, they're the 4 or 5 seed. Yeah. You've been playing good ball. Yeah, you've probably dropped some games that you shouldn't have, but I feel like we're almost already past the point, and I do think this was by design because Coach Mike Brown never wanted to do it. We've gotten past a point where he can say, yeah, let's try something new. We're dangerously close.
Yeah.
We're dangerously
Definitely,
close.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit close because, like you're saying, it takes time. Even if it works initially, there's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way that you're just going to have to go through. You're going to have to find out what it's like to live without Malik Monk's pop coming off the bench. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a big adjustment for this team. And yeah, it might work in some short term, but again, in the long term, even long term, just being, by the end of the season, and short term being, maybe you survive for 2 or 3 weeks with Malik in the lineup. It just, to me, feels like that's a desperation move that, I think only happens if this team makes no moves at the deadline.
Right. And that would be, okay, this is our change.
Yes, this is our change. Exactly.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to talk about the Kings, De'Aaron Fox and his numbers. They're down. Is that a better recipe for success? And we're going to get to this Keith Lee piece. Please chime in if you are familiar, but we're going to chime in, or we're going to get it done. We're going to introduce it to Nate, introduce it to Chris, because I do think that it does connect back to just how cities are viewed and getting free agents. This stuff matters in this day and age, so we will play that sound for you and discuss. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. With anti-lock brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, backup camera, and Honda safety sensing package including collision mitigation braking system, you can see why a sporty, redesigned Civic from Elk Grove Honda gives you a lot for your money. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore.
Great selection, great factory financing and incentive.
And great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock.
Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140. Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. Kings Sixers tonight. Kings Bucks coming up after that. Can they get it done? I mean, if they get this, I don't care if there's no Embiid. I know he's
I don't
MVP, but you still got to go out there. You're still on the road, right? And the Kings, because I don't care about Embiid because it hasn't mattered with the Kings, right?
Totally.
They've always dropped you get about 3 in a row, maybe 4 in a row, and then you don't just lose you don't show up at all.
Yep.
Right? So if you come out and you get this one, and then we'll see what happens on Sunday. You come out, you get this one, I would be pretty impressed even without Joel Embiid. Some college football news. Kalen DeBoer, the head coach of the Washington Huskies, is pretty close. About 4 minutes ago, on the cusp, they are saying that he is on the cusp of becoming Alabama's next head coach.
Good luck, buddy.
And, following up a legend is always interesting.
It's impossible.
The first thing that pops up in my mind is Didi Gregorius. Didi Gregorius, who came up after Derek Jeter.
Sure.
Didi was a nice player.
Yeah.
But Didi was never going to last in New York because of who he was following up.
Sure.
And it's happened recently with North Carolina.
Right.
And North Carolina actually did well not too long ago. And now you have Duke as well as of a couple years ago. It's hard, man.
Seaford following Walsh. I know he was on the staff, but still got 2 Super Bowls.
And I think this will be
Gerard Mayo's replacing Bill Belichick.
Yes, Gerard Mayo as well. We don't know I think the Seahawks is a little bit different. Pete didn't have that same exact success. But good luck, Kalen.
Yeah,
good luck.
That's tough, especially in college, too,
I thought they would get somebody from the SEC at least.
That's what I would have thought, right? Have some cachet or at least get a Saban former assistant in the place. Like I was seeing, and I don't know how much truth was behind the smoke, but Steve Sarkisian was a guy who spent some time in Alabama. Who's our boy, former Raider head coach, young boy from coached Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin,
of course, maybe Alabama wouldn't be too trusting of giving the keys to him. He already flopped with one SEC team in Tennessee, so maybe they're a little bit more nervous of that with a program that's got the prestige of Alabama. But I mean, I didn't know much about Kalen DeBoer before this season at Washington. I've been looking into his history now, and it's not what you probably would have said would have been the guy to replace Nick Saban. I mean, I'm looking here. It quite literally says this man, shout out the local ties here. He was Fresno State's head coach at the end of the 2020 shortened season and the season after that.
That's the come up right there.
We're 3 years out from this man literally being like
Roll Tide.
60 miles or whatever it is, 90 miles down the road.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, and good luck to him. But man,
South Dakota,
that's impossible.
so that's not really the South. You're not from
no, it is south of North Dakota, but it's
Coast.
definitely not the South.
It's not the West Coast because you know that. Roll Tide, baby.
Yeah.
Roll Tide. I wish, maybe we can find some Paul Feinbaum or something and play it next week, because I would guarantee, I know he was in the national championship, but I used to just listen to Paul Feinbaum just for the callers for at least an hour a day, just because I had to hear them. I can't imagine that they're thrilled because they probably wanted somebody that they knew.
Yes.
Right. And they don't know this guy versus, just what he's done in Washington. And I can't imagine they are catching too many Pac-12 games and then you lose in the national championship. So yeah, and that's another one. If you win the national championship, you still go, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Either way,
it's Alabama. Like it still is Alabama.
It's Alabama.
That program could be, that you're not going to get that kind of attention at Washington, even if you win 2, 3 now. Maybe if you win 3, but if you can win multiple national championships at Washington and still probably not be able to get the pull that you would get at Alabama. So that's kind of one of those jobs where if it's available, you got to take it.
All right. Before we get to a break, wanted to play some of this audio. So just to lay it out for you, if you are just now tuning in, thank you for tuning in. If you have been rocking with us, thank you for that as well. Nate, have you heard of this guy, Keith Lee?
No, I haven't, but I will say, well, you know what? I'll save it for after.
Okay, so just to lay it out for you, for everybody listening, basically this guy, Keith Lee, former MMA fighter, or he might still fight, but he started doing these food reviews about maybe a couple of years ago, and when you hear him talk, it's not Guy Fieri at all. It's just him literally just talking, and for some reason, it took off, right? Whether it's just the way he edits his videos, whatever it is, it just took off. So it went from him finding random places where he lives to him doing a tour, and he went to Atlanta, and Atlanta, He had a time in Atlanta because, you know, there were some discussions about, oh, you treated my family differently. So there are drama when he goes to these places. So he announced, hey, y'all, I'm going to the Bay Area. Give me some spots.
Real quick, is it all food related?
It's all food related.
Food based.
It's only food related.
All right.
So I don't know who he got some spots from. And to give you a visual here, we're going to play some of the audio. It's a little long. We're not going to play the whole thing. Basically, it's him driving through the Bay Bridge, driving through areas of Oakland, and he is just taken aback from what he's seen. And he goes on to say something happens with some of the food, and it didn't go well for him. Here's the sound.
Unfortunately, the Bay Area stop on the Keith Lee and family food tour is officially over prematurely, and we're going to get straight into it. Let's talk about it. There are a few reasons why, as a family, we decided to end the food tour short. But before I get to that, I truly want to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single bit of love. The people of the Bay were absolutely amazing, and I'll never forget the hospitality and the love that y'all showed me. Reason number one, I truly don't believe the Bay is a place for tourists right now, and that's what I was, a tourist. The people in the Bay are just focused on surviving. That's the business owners, the locals. The amount of tents and living structures and burnt up cars that we saw people living in was shocking to say the least. Before we went, people was comparing it to Gotham City. Now, I might not agree, but I understand where it's coming from. But I can't harp on it enough that the people are amazing. It's just an environment. And as an outsider, I wish the city would step in. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they've been trying. But just from outside looking in, it don't seem like it was much city interference. Reason number two, and this is in no particular order, we went to a lot of restaurants, popular restaurants, not popular restaurants, mom and pop shops. And this is the first city where I have over 6 videos that I don't feel comfortable with posting because nothing about my experience was constructive and nothing that I said was constructive. I've always been big on honesty. I've always been big on transparency, but I've never been big on completely tearing down anybody. And I feel like those 6 videos only doing that. And I've always said, I'm absolutely blessed to do this, but it does take a lot of money. It does take a lot of resources to do. At the moment, everything comes out of pocket. So when we had that many restaurants that we couldn't do anything with, that was just another deciding factor. Number 3, and probably the most important, I had to go to the hospital because I had an allergic reaction to one of the meals I had. This restaurant in particular cooked a plethora of meats, including shellfish. My family specifically asked if they cooked it on the same grill. They said yes, but they would clean it. The second I ate it, I blew up like a balloon. I had to get some steroids and some allergy medicine, and it cleared right up. But it was
so
a lot there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me come out of the gate.
Yeah.
Cool. The content, I just don't get the appeal behind it. Well, I don't get why he blew it. I know, but that's and I know he's an MMA fighter, so I hope he doesn't beat me up. But I mean, I make a lot of stuff, and so it's like watching that.
I would say that's not a good representation either of what his normal content looks like. Like normally it's your typical.
But he does talk like that, though.
He does talk like that.
It's monotone. Yeah. The visuals aren't very entertaining. Whatever. Anyways, right. I mean, he's right about the Bay Area. Like, what do you want me to like? It's rough. It is rough there.
Well, it's an outside perspective. So here's the thing.
Well, especially I assume he's going to mom and pops.
That's what it is, right?
Not in the nice districts.
People were saying, well, where did you go?
Yeah.
And that's his whole thing. He's not going to go to some of these places that are well known.
Yeah.
He's trying to help out places that are quote unquote hidden gems. From what I heard, and our guy Jason Dumas, we're both foodies, so he was saying some stuff on social media last night as well. Basically, from what I heard, is that all of the hidden gems in the Bay Area, and I don't know how much in Sacramento, but all the hidden gems aren't very hidden. So he's trying to find places that don't have, even if it's a mom and pops,
right.
The line is still out the door.
Going on mission,
right? So he was trying to dig deep. And I think he just went a little too deep.
A little too deep. Because you've been in the Bay Area before, Oakland, Berkeley. Even Berkeley's like it, where you'll be in the nicest part of Berkeley, and then you walk 2 more blocks down, and you're like, hold on, wait. I thought I was just in the heights of Berkeley real quick, and now
you were.
You were, exactly. And so I think it probably has a lot to do with that. Like you said, I think the outsiderness of it is definitely. I mean, especially like you said, the mom and pops that he's going to are probably in some of the lower income areas in Oakland. And it didn't sound like he was spending tons of time in San Francisco proper.
No.
So, a lot of those areas are definitely a blind spot to the politics.
So this has blown up, and other kind of foodies in the Bay Area and just in Northern California are saying, this is on y'all. You tagged mid spots because you like those people, right? But you knew the food wasn't going to be that good. I don't know the 6 places he went. I can tell you 6 places right now that are more mom and poppy that,
come to Sac, Keith.
Come to Sac, Keith. We got to get him to
There
Sac.
will not be 6 bad places you go to.
And this is what happens. Okay, you don't do Keith right, and now you get Jordan Hicks, $44 million, and he's got to be your starter. You got to turn him to being a starter.
Connected.
That's right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we will preview the Philadelphia 76ers. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports brings you a doubleheader of NFL playoff action this Saturday. The playoffs begin in Houston as the upstart Texans host the Cleveland Browns.
That's it! The Browns are going to the playoffs!
Following Game 1, the Dolphins head to Arrowhead to face Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
Coverage of Super Wildcard Weekend begins Saturday at 1 on Sactown Sports, your home for Super Bowl 58.
Did you know some ordinary cold medicines can raise your blood pressure? That's alarming! Fortunately, there's Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. It's specially formulated without alcohol, sugar, or decongestants to provide fast, powerful cold and flu symptom relief for people with high blood pressure. So if you have high blood pressure, try DayQuil High Blood Pressure, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, colds, and flu for people with high blood pressure medicine. Use as directed.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call, then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2023 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Talking some 76ers and Kings, talking cheesesteaks, of course, with Michael Kasky-Blomane, writer for ESPN 97.3. He writes Eagles, 76ers. So we will talk to him at 1 p.m. Yeah, you know, the 76ers are a very interesting team. They had the trust the process, right? And it's one of those teams where you don't realize, man, how long has Joel Embiid been in the league?
Too long.
You know what I mean? A long time. And
probably 11. I want to say he wasn't 2013. Yeah, he was probably 2016 draft or something like that. Yeah, I mean, he's been in the league for a while now.
And I don't know about a year to win the finals, but their year to get to the finals was that year when Kawhi had
14.
The baseline shot that rattled all around and eventually fell in. That is the year I think they were meant to get to the finals.
Yeah.
And then you bring in Harden, and what did you not have Embiid last season? And then Harden balled out. Then you eventually just couldn't win. And you know they're sitting third, they're third in net rating. And obviously, they've been cooking so far. But, you know, Chris, I've always just been, and we'll talk to Michael about it, I've always just been worried about a team with a guy like Joel Embiid that I just think and this guy flops as well, and he could actually hurt himself flopping because he is so dang big.
Yeah.
And it's just hard for me to, he's been dinged up so many playoffs and had to play through. I don't know what they're going to do. I believe I read that they're going to stand pat during the trade deadline. I don't know if they are looking to move anybody. We'll talk to Michael about that.
Yeah, there's some initial Siakam interest, but I think in the past week there really hasn't been much movement on that front at all.
Because they just seem very top heavy. They're having a great season. They're third in net rating. They are second, actually, in defensive rating, tied with the Orlando Magic.
Nick Nurse.
And they are fifth in offensive rating. And I believe you had said, hey, they, without Joel Embiid, they're a completely different team.
2-7.
2-7 without Joel Embiid, but they are at home. It is nationally televised. And they're facing a Kings team, which, to be completely honest, you don't know which Kings team or what type of Kings team you're going to get. But if you look at the threats in the East, you're always going to say the Bucks and you're always going to say the Celtics. I think the 76ers probably feel a bit disrespected, but at the same time, are you almost running out of time? Is it crazy to say you're running out of time with Joel Embiid just based on age on top of his size and how he plays and his background? He had the toe injury for all these years. He's 29.
Yeah.
So if you don't get something soon here, a Joel Embiid at 31 is not the same as a Steph Curry at 31 or these guys, these smaller guys. So I'd be surprised if they're not planning on making a move because you got to deal with the Bucks and you got to deal with the Celtics and the Heat, who always decide to make a hot run.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Sixers window, like you said, you put it perfectly. It's closing. It's closing faster than anybody else's because, like you said, Joel, in 2-3 years, that body's going to be crushed, man. I'm looking at his games played. Joel has never in his NBA career, and it's going to continue this year because he's already missed 10 games, and he's probably going to miss more. He has not played over 70 games in a season. The most he's played is 68, and that was 2 years ago. So he's had issues staying healthy, even from his first initial years in the league. I mean, he missed his first 2 seasons in the NBA with a foot injury. So this is a guy who's the game has always been, can we get Joel to the end of the season? Can we get him into the playoffs? And it's going to be tough to think, can Joel play 20? Do you trust Joel Embiid to play 25 straight playoff games with that level of intensity?
No.
That's how you got to win a championship.
But that's what I'm saying.
Impossible.
Well, I guess here's the thing. Can you be MVP, but also you can't win with a guy? It feels. I mean,
you can win with him if he's healthy. That's the problem.
But the chances up, right? And that is why.
And that's where James Harden was so important. That's why they needed Ben Simmons, is because they needed somebody else to take the load off. They needed somebody to say, "Can you get Joel to the finish line? He'll get us over the line,
right.
But we just need somebody to help us get there."
And not even just get there. We're talking about even early on in the. You can't sit somebody. I mean, you could sit somebody during the playoffs, but if you, we. Position right now, they're the 3 seed. Okay. So, hey guys, we have the Knicks. All right. Which would be a really good series, by the way. We got the Knicks. These first 2 games with Joel, or first 3, right? We have to come out and take care of business. Now, everybody wants to do this, but Joel, we get to 3-0 and we're sitting Joel Embiid, which sounds insane, but this is the first round, right? Playoffs go on for 2 months.
Sure.
Okay. Hey, we got to get these first 2. And even if we only get 2, we might have to sit Joel the first game because of the way, by the time you get to the playoffs, who knows what you'll be dealing with here. He could go down as one of the best players that he didn't lose his career due to injury, but he never saw the team success that he wanted to see because of injury and just the fact that it's a long season, right? And then you got the playoffs. And how many times has he been able to go through the whole playoffs completely healthy? Almost never.
Right. Sure. I mean, yeah, I think that his career is still TBD. I mean, we're seeing him rest a lot more this season than in previous. So maybe, we've talked about it. I think that it's a shifting of his focus. He's already gotten the MVP. This will be the 3rd straight season he's led the NBA in points per game. Everyone knows what his talent is. I think at this point, to your point, is about winning the championship, and that's the primary focus. So however they have to do it to get Joel healthy enough to play those playoff games or get through the playoffs is absolutely what they need to do, especially with how this team is constructed now. I don't think that this Philly team, they're a good team, they're a scrappy team. They're a lot better than most teams in the NBA, but I don't think that they can win the finals right now with Tyrese Maxey as their second best player and then hoping for Tobias Harris and hoping, the fact Kelly Oubre, like the other 3 guys in their starting lineup are not starter caliber on a finals team. I mean, we were just having a conversation of whether Malik Monk is able to play in the last minutes of a finals game. I can tell you right now, Kelly Oubre, I'm not trusting in the final minutes of the playoff game. I'm not trusting Nick Batum's broken down body in the final minutes of a finals game. Tobias Harris may be, but even then, if you ask people in Philly, they can't stand Tobias Harris.
I mean, he's right up there. He's not a finesser like Jimmy G, but
not quite.
He is a bag collector like Jimmy G. Well, here's what's interesting and what kind of made me light up a bit when you were talking. So you have Becky Hammon, who last month got some flack for saying you can't win with an undersized guard like Jalen Brunson as your 1A, right? Yep. I think the other side of that is you just said Tyrese Maxey, you're number 2. I think Jalen Brunson is better than Tyrese Maxey, but I think it's at least kind of close, right? Know. So now you have a team. You just need a really well-rounded team, or you just got to get hotter than fish grease. Shout out to Mark Jones, because it's Now, can you win with the 1A that can't stay healthy, even if he's 7-footer, Becky Hammond?
I think it's too late at I think they've messed up their asset allocation completely. Like, I mean, the fact
so you just don't believe them.
No, I mean, I think they've ruined. They had 3 stars, and they've had a version of 3 stars since I mean those Jimmy Butler years. Like, I mean, think about what they ended up getting for Jimmy, and then how it turned into what they ended up getting for Simmons, and then even James Harden is the last remnants of that 3rd star. And you look at what they traded James Harden for. I mean, it's really Nick Batum, Marcus Morris, and somebody else on their bench. It's like that's not. You can't turn Jimmy Butler into Nick Batum, Kelly Oubre, and player X. That's not going to lead you to a championship. And so at this point, I feel like they're cooked. I feel like they just don't have enough talent to get through the Eastern Conference, even though Joel is a matchup nightmare for a team like Boston. I mean, that's really their biggest advantage is Joel just being dominant in the playoffs, much like we saw Jokic do last year. The Suns, you could argue, had better talent. They just couldn't stop Nikola Jokic from getting and scoring and setting people up whenever he wants. That's really the Sixers' only path to making it out of the East, in my opinion, is just Joel dominates Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford, and they can eliminate the Celtics. And, the Heat, they don't really have a ton of size. Bam's really their biggest guy. It would take Joel just going nuclear, really, and having a Jokic-esque playoff run like last year for them to make it through. I don't see them winning as a team, though.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, previewing the Bucks, who the Kings have Sunday night. And they've struggled a bit. Can the Kings take advantage? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
You own a truck because you want to get the job done right. Truck Smart is your work truck headquarters. For over 35 years, they've been outfitting trucks for leading construction firms, service providers, and municipalities in the region. Truck racks, toolboxes, lighting, commercial shells, rhino lining, they've got it all. And their expert installers will get it done right the first time. So visit the truck experts at Truck Smart today with locations in Rockland and Auburn. They'll make your truck your favorite tool. Trucksmart.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. The bad boys of the midday. And we have some more. I don't even know if this is news at this point, right? So this is from Tim McMahon, NBA for ESPN, okay? And he says, I've been told Utah Jazz will listen on anyone on the roster with Lauri Markkanen. He's not untouchable, but it's going to take one of your untouchables to get him. Okay, I'm good then. Or are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm really good. There's a lot of Kings fans out there who are really high on Lauri Markkanen. He's a good player. You already know what he is at this point, which is an all-star caliber player. But I just, again, I don't think if you're moving one of your own untouchables, I just feel like I'll roll the dice with Keegan Murray. I'll roll the dice with the evil that, or I guess the good that I know. Instead of the good I don't.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at as well.
And I'm not even saying that's the right move. It's just if you're doing risk management, like I just, I just feel like Keegan, you can hold on to Keegan and maybe get someone even better than Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, and I would look. I like Lauri Markkanen.
He's fine.
And that's probably a good line though when we discuss. Hey, what's the line where Keegan becomes not untouchable, right? We're getting close. Lauri Markkanen's getting close.
Yeah, you probably have a discussion with it if you're Monty. Have a discussion with Wes Wilcox. Like, oh, what do you think? Is it worth it? And it might not get further than that. But.
Taking away, obviously, the money wouldn't work, but it's probably a different discussion if it's just Keegan for Lauri. I think, all right, I would have that discussion, but it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a no. It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I think salary-wise as well, like Lauri, I would assume is on a not rookie scale contract.
Exactly.
He's definitely.
That's why I said the money.
20.
You couldn't do that anyway.
Yeah, it would have to be HB and Keegan, and then if you're throwing HB in that deal, which is again the Kings' main asset that they are throwing out there. Well, now if I'm sending Keegan as well, I'm gonna need more than just Lauri. I'm gonna need Keontae George, give me Jordan Clarkson, give me Walker Kessler. I don't know, and then it becomes a back and forth of like, okay, well, if you want Kessler, Walker Kessler, then give us Kessler Edwards. So
switch name tags.
It just becomes a mess. So it feels like Lauri is, and also, I mean, even though that report's out there, and even then, it's kind of hedging his bet a bit. Doesn't make any sense for Utah to ship out Lauri Markkanen. I mean, that's a team where. People talk all the time about how many assets OKC's got. I don't think enough people are looking at the war chest of picks that the Utah Jazz and Danny Ainge collected from shipping off Gobert and shipping off Donovan Mitchell. They're chilling, and I think Lauri Markkanen's the exact kind of piece that you want. Like he's a really good starting piece if you're going to try and build that thing out eventually. So I don't see why Utah would just kind of sell their only quality, like high quality player.
Well, the question would be the timeline.
Unless they're just getting more picks.
The question would be the timelines and do they add up? So Lauri Markkanen, I think, is right there on the cusp of it may be working or not adding up. He's 26 years old. And I would say, even if, as funny as it is, if he was 27, I would say with the picks that you got to get these kids in, number one, number two, hope that they actually
I think he'll
hit.
be 27 at the end of the season.
Yeah, it was birthday's in May. Yeah, so end of the season. He is right there on the line of, and I think that's why they're going to end up stuck with him, for lack of a better term. Yeah, because he's right on the line of people giving up, mortgaging their futures, and he's right on the line of, okay, he's just young enough that he can be a part of our future. So he probably does. He probably doesn't move unless somebody is desperate and oversell. A Warriors team that just oversells. They did just actually. The report came out that the Warriors are looking for a scoring 7-footer.
I did hear that.
And then they were getting roasted. Did you see all the people saying the report came out that I went to my bank and asked for $1 million, right? like, of course they want that. Who doesn't want that? But that's a name. That's a name. If they decide, hey, we're not going to try to do anything after Steph and we're just going to ride till the wheels fall off. Because I don't think a Jazz would want an Andrew Wiggins. They would. No. The Jazz would take a Kuminga and a Moody and some picks.
Yeah, probably some picks too, for sure. I don't know. I'd be hesitant to be a team that is going to convince themselves Lauri Markkanen's the guy, though, because even, I don't know, like Markkanen's rise has been great, but, he also wasn't this good before he ended up on a team where he was the primary option. Also, like he had a couple years in Chicago where they tried to make it work. Granted, it was a little clunky and maybe not completely his fault. He had a year in Cleveland where he was good. He was a solid role player, but then it wasn't until he went to Utah last year for a team. I don't know if you remember last year after they shipped off Mitchell and shipped off Gobert, there was talks like Utah was going to be the Pistons of this year, pretty much. People thought Utah was going to be the worst team in the NBA last year, and in the Wemby sweepstakes, they ended up being a really good team and exceeding expectations. But I say all that to say, Lauri Markkanen hasn't been good or been this all-star caliber player until he was the team's number one option on a team that was pretty talent deprived. So if you're going to throw him into a Kings situation where it kind of becomes that Pascal thing of, all right, you're good as the team's number one option, your current team's number one option. But if we're going to ask you to take a lesser role, be the third option, and play some defense as well, can you still be as effective? And more importantly, does your dollar figure still make sense if you're going to be that level of a player?
But couldn't you argue, and we have CK916 on the Sack Chat saying, if they trade Keegan Murray, I will quit watching the rest of this season.
Okay.
But couldn't you argue that on a team that is talent deprived, Lauri Markkanen balling out is more impressive because everybody knows that's the one guy we have to stop every night?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, definitely. Absolutely. No, that's a perfectly fine retort. I would just, my question is more so just with lesser opportunities, can he still be as efficient and as happy as well? I mean, I'm actually looking at his contract, and I understand why everyone wants Lauri Markkanen. If you had to guess what Lauri Markkanen's being paid this and next year, just in terms of this and next year's salary, not the total 4-year, $120 million. What would you guess Lauri Markkanen is making this year and next year? I'll give you either one.
It can't be less than 18.
It is. He is making $17 million this year, $18 million next year.
Wow.
Which is pretty much what Harrison Barnes
Yeah, that's correct.
So that's insane. I get why people might look at Lauri Markkanen different than in that aspect, because then if you are asking him to be your third option and maybe he isn't the 20-plus point a game scorer, it still is like, you're paying him what you would pay Harrison Barnes, and you're definitely getting more production out of that $17 million than the $17 million you were previous.
But the problem with that, or the stalemate and why he hasn't moved yet, is because the Jazz know that, and they can say, hey, value. You got to give us more because we know you're getting essentially a discount.
I mean, and that was the Sabonis thing too. Sabonis was making like $20 million in his contract, and that's why, there's a lot of controversy behind it, but the Kings upped him up to 31 this year, and it's whatever. It's not my money, so what do I care? But it definitely makes a lot more sense to me now, knowing Lauri Markkanen's making pennies I mean, if you're paying an all-star $17 million, I don't know if there's a better value in sports.
Well, besides Brock Purdy.
Oh, of course. That goes without saying. Most valuable player in sports.
Stiles and Watkins, based on value. Stiles and Watkins, got to get to a break. When we get back, previewing the Bucks, we're also talking Super Wild Card Weekend. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore. Great selection, great factory financing and incentive, and great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air right now. American Energy offering $0 HVAC diagnostics. That's normally $99 for nothing. Let the American Energy team test your system, connections, and all the moving parts of your system to ensure it's functioning properly. Let me say that again. $0 to get your HVAC diagnostic-ted. That's not even a word. That's normally $100. Making the uncomfortable comfortable. That's what American Energy does. That's what they've done since 1981. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since then. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Do it before January 31st or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Discover your next adventure. Buy the latest gear and meet the experts at the International Sportsman's Expo. Your life outdoors, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings. Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Damian Lillard decided to leave Portland.
Ran away from the grind.
Ran away from the grind after all these years. How could you do it, Dame? Oakland's finest. He should have told Keith Lee someplace.
He should have, yeah.
That's
that would have been a sick collab.
That would have been a great collab, but he did not. And Keith Lee got out of town. And so did Damian Lillard, as in Portland, and now he is in Milwaukee. And it hasn't looked as great as some people may have think. Now, you say all that, and what are they? Second? They are second in the East.
Must be nice.
26-12. Okay, 3 games back of the Celtics. But as far as how they have played, they won last night. They destroyed the Celtics last night. They are 5-5 in the last 10 games, and Damian Lillard hasn't been totally a fit or a seamless fit, if you will. But they're dangerous.
Of course, yeah.
And I felt like, I think I saw Middleton. I don't even know if he eclipsed. And look, the game got out of hand. But yeah, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. The odd man out here is Chris Middleton. And we know Damian Lillard doesn't really play defense. And Chris Middleton had 5 points last night.
Yeah.
5 points. Now, he only played 20 minutes, but Giannis had 24. Brook Lopez had 15. Maybe some of that was in mop-up duty. Malik Beasley, 16 points. Yeah. Damian Lillard, 21. And I was watching during this stretch. My guy, Bobby Portis Jr. had 28.
Going crazy.
Okay, and 12. So, yeah, I think.
But that's exactly what we're talking about when we talk about the Kings making a move at the deadline for a big piece and why it's so risky, especially if you're thinking about like a big scorer like Zach LaVine, look no further than this Milwaukee situation and Dame's numbers to see sometimes it takes time for these things to come together. Yes, the Bucks are still getting results, but they're nowhere. This is just about half the season that it's taken, and even still, they're nowhere near where I think they hoped they would be and where they think they can be, even with this squad. And you see Giannis voicing frustrations. He's been pretty weirdly vocal this year. Had the weird equipment manager comment the other day. You look at Dame's numbers, he's crazy inefficient, especially from Dame standards. He's shooting 43% from the field, 35% from three, still averaging 25 points. So if you're just looking at that number, you wouldn't know, but it's been a clunky fit. And that's the fear again, if the Kings are going to make that big splash, it might not just come together seamlessly, and you got to work out these things. The only way you can work these things out is by playing a ton of games and figuring out kind of how the puzzle pieces fall. And even then, Chris Middleton having 5 points is a major problem for that team. Imagine again, like if they do make a Siakam trade and then Sabonis ends a game with 6 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists, everyone's going to be like, it's great that we brought this guy in here, but I think we broke this other dude in the process. So it's just a really delicate balancing act when you're talking about a basketball team that only has 5 guys on the floor at once. One tiny piece that you take out and try and put in a different piece that doesn't fit, it could blow up the whole thing. Not even saying they're ruined, but
No, they could win the whole thing. Totally. But look, he had 5 points, but they won by 30. Yeah. So not everybody's just going to be able to eat every single night, but I felt like
Middleton's been in and out.
Well, he's really, and maybe that's part of the reason they made the move for Dame, because
absolutely
injury laden last season. He's just not who he used to be, right? So maybe they felt like, look, even if you take a step back, we don't think you're going to get back to where you were. The Dame part of it,
per game.
Yeah, the Dame part of it is where things get interesting because he hasn't really fit in either. And like you said, we're approaching the halfway point here. You still have, as far as offensive rating, I watched that game before it got out of hand, man. And Giannis, I know people say he has no bag. He just doesn't need one. He just runs to the rim.
He's ridiculous.
And it just doesn't matter.
It's unstoppable.
They're second in offensive rating. They are
not as good on defense.
Not as good as defense. I'm keeping going here.
And that's been the thing with them is in their past, they were always top 3.
They're 19.
Mm-hmm.
They're 19.
That's this team is a completely different team than any of the recent Giannis Bucks teams that we've seen. Their calling card has always been defense, even with Coach Budenholzer, who's one of the best offensive minds there is, or was, I guess. They were always a defensive first team. And that's it's really simple. You take out Drew Holiday, who is just a grinder, a dude who is defensive minded, but does provide some offense. And you replace that with Damian Lillard, who's almost the complete opposite. Dame's all offense and one of the worst defenders in the NBA. And this is the result you're going to get and you top that with Middleton not being himself. They just don't have anybody besides Giannis, and Brook Lopez is a really good rim threat, but they don't really have much defense. Their defense is their back line, and there's only so much Brook and Giannis can do at that point. So, if you're from the Kings perspective, that makes this team a lot easier for the Kings to beat because, if you're drawing up who's the worst kind of opponent for the Kings to face, kind of like how the Niners, and we talk about what's the team the Niners don't want to face. In a weird way, it's the Browns. It's not the fact that the Browns will light you up on offense, but it's the fact that they can slow down what you do so well. And so if the Bucks can't do that and they want to get into a shootout with the Kings, now, of course, Giannis and Dame are two scary guys to get into a shootout with, but you would think that the Kings have the depth and they got some dudes who bring that thing too. So, it's just a lot easier of a proposition to win that game.
Yeah. And we'll see really what happens. So where are you at as far as the East? Are you thinking it's just the Celtics and everybody else, or?
That's what I think. I think they're in a tier on their own, and unless Porzingis goes down, which is, if you're looking at history, it's getting about that time, and that definitely would hurt them. But right now, I mean, the Celtics look like the best unit. Like they're deep, they have the top end talent, they have incredible role players like Drew Holiday, like Derek White. I mean, they've got it all. So I mean, I don't really see anybody in the East at this current moment, except for Miami, who just sleepwalks through every regular season.
Can I chime in on that? I think last year Miami broke the NBA for me a little bit. Like anyone can just, I mean, especially with the play-in now, like they ran it all the way to the finals. Why? I know that's an anomaly.
Yeah.
Well, the Lakers,
but it's really
went
fresh.
From play-in to
LeBron.
To the Western Finals too.
Right.
Yeah, LeBron, AD. I mean, it's just, I get your Celtics and everyone else. I think the Celtics are going to do it this year, but it's, I mean, literally, like anyone can do it if you just get hot.
I don't think anybody can do it. I think it takes a certain
the top 20, maybe top 15.
I mean, like I think it takes a certain type of team. I don't think I don't think the Bucks can just turn it on out of nowhere.
How do you identify that team though? Like, how are you going to identify the Heat?
I mean, really. I mean, jokes aside, it is Heat culture. It's
they
the fact
did it in
that
the bubble.
Done it.
Coaching,
they did
coaching. I mean, you even have Pat Riley running the ship. Like you've got all the right pieces in mind to say, guys, look, we know we can be better than this. We've done it before. Let's go out and do it.
Got
and even
Jimmy
if you
Butler.
don't have the past of it. It's just the dogs you got in the building. I mean, it's the guys you got to believe it.
You got Heat culture and on one side last season, and then you have the Lakers, who they were essentially a different roster, and that was the whole thing. All the trades they made the trade deadline, and they got hot. And you have LeBron and AD, and really, it's a team that you feel like underperformed. Yes. And the Lakers underperformed. That's why I don't view this the same way some people view really the NFL playoffs, because it's only one game, or now the MLB playoffs because you have, that 3-game wild card and anything can happen. I still think that it's not going to happen that much in the NBA, and especially getting to the finals. I think we could see some teams pull off what the Lakers did, but unless it's the Heat again, I don't see a lot of teams. I don't see this as becoming a trend, becoming the play-in, going from the depths of the play-in to all the way to the finals. I think the Heat, because the Heat, like I said, they did it before. They did it in the bubble, and they were like a 7-seed or a 6-seed in the bubble. So the Heat are the one team, unless you just have a team that just was injured or just really underperformed all season, and like the Clippers.
I mean, even the Warriors last year, like Wiggins didn't play the entire second half of last year, and so you could argue maybe if Wiggins plays, they're not truly a 6-seed.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
them beating a 3-seed in the Kings,
that's really true.
Might not be that crazy.
And that's why they felt so comfortable going on the road, because they felt like, we weren't whole this whole time.
Right.
And then you did have somebody in Wiggins who did show out on certain occasions, and he's gone now. That person is gone now. That player is gone now. But he did show up. And by the way, before we get to a break, we said it. We see on the Sac Chat and also on the text line, Milwaukee Bucks 19th in defensive rating, which means the Kings at 17th play better defense than the Milwaukee Bucks. Think about that. When we get back, we're talking NFL Super Wildcard Weekend. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0
down with approved credit. Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockrell with the Retirement Security Center for the weekly economic update. The Securities and Exchange Commission approved applications for 11 spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds. This could legitimize the cryptocurrency market and provide options for investors to diversify their portfolios as they can with traditional stock and bond investments. Exchange-traded funds are a basket of securities or bonds that trade like a stock on a stock exchange. This approval comes a day after the SEC chair's X account was apparently hacked and posted a false statement about these approvals being complete yesterday. Given the stringent rules on data protection the SEC requires, they are expected to answer for this breach no later than January 17th. This week is also the kickoff to this quarterly earnings season. We could soon start to see how corporate CEOs see this year shaping up for their various companies and industries, and possibly see how they will react to this week's Consumer Price Index inflation report. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
The first time I tried to quit vaping, I told myself that it was like a mountain that I had to climb over. And once I got to the other side, it would be clear. But I couldn't make it over. What really got me to quit was my little sister. I saw her vaping. So I was back in the mountain, but this time she was up there with me. It's weird what you can do for others that you won't do for yourself.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's time to buck up, Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. With anti-lock brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, backup camera, and Honda safety sensing package including collision mitigation braking system, you can see why a sporty, redesigned Civic from Elk Grove Honda gives you a lot for your money. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage.
Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. It is time for the first half of our NFL breakdown of Super Wild Card Weekend. We will be joined by Michael Kasky, Blow-Main writer for ESPN 97.3 at 1 o'clock, and then we'll do the second half. So right now, we're going to do Saturday's games. We're going to do picks right now. We're going to do picks right now. Browns, let's just start it off. Oh, yep, we're starting out hot. Browns at Texans.
I like the Browns, man. I really do. I think that, Joe Flacco is his reemergence, his possible comeback player of the year, coming back from sucking. It's been great. It's been probably the least expected thing of 2023, 24. I believe it. I believe that defense is good enough to just keep it close. And this is also the Texans' first time in a situation like this. I mean, D'Amico, first-year head coach. C.J. Stroud, first-year player. I'm not saying it can't get done. They at least have home field advantage. But, it just feels like this might be as far as this team was meant to go.
So they are favored by 2.
Really?
So you think they're going to cover? Obviously, yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Nate, where you at on this?
All right, where am I at? I'm going to say defense travels, and I think Cleveland gets the job done in a dome stadium. C.J. Stroud, rookie. It's not going to be his fault they lose. They're missing, Tank Dell.
Right.
Love D'Amico. Nothing but love. Wouldn't be shocked if Houston won. I think the Browns do it this week, but no matter who they play next week, I think they're done.
Really?
Yeah. I think the cream is going to rise to the crop. Even if they play Baltimore.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, I think if they play Baltimore, that's going to be the best game, which is probably the most likely thing to happen if they win, because the 5th seed playing the 1 seed. That's, getting a little ahead of myself. That's
for what it's worth, too, I mean, these teams just played each other. How long ago was it? It was like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
And the Texans got destroyed. It was 36-22 Browns. This is the Amari Cooper game. It was the game where Amari Cooper had, 265 receiving yards. Granted, Davis Mills did play in that game, so take it with a grain of salt. But even by halftime, that game was pretty much over. And the Browns, even though they didn't win the division, they do have a better record than the Texans, for what that's worth.
There you go. My pick for that game, as much as I love C.J. Stroud and D'Amico Ryans, I'm going to have to go with the Browns. I mean, what I've seen that defense do all season long, and, the Texans, nice story.
Yeah.
Good for them to get into the playoffs. But, the Browns, that defense, Joe Flacco.
Garrett's an all-pro again.
Garrett's an all-pro again. I'm going Browns there. All right, next game, let's go with we're doing Saturday, and then after we talk to Michael Kasky, main writer for ESPN 97.3 at 1 p.m., we will do the Sunday and Monday game. Next.
Here's my question about this one, though. Will anyone even watch this game? Does it matter if a tree falls in the woods?
Game.
I know, but we all know Peacock. Nobody has Peacock.
They're both on Peacock.
If a tree,
the first one is on both.
Yeah, it's on. This is exclusive.
Yeah.
If a tree falls in the woods, will anyone know if the Chiefs win?
You mean make a sound?
I don't know. Whatever.
I got you.
It was poetic.
Dolphins. It was an attempt. Thank you, Shell Silverstein. Dolphins at
Shout out
Chiefs.
Shell.
Yes, falling up. Dolphins at Chiefs.
I wish we could say this is going to be a great game. I really do.
Do people like these games? Remember Alabama LSU when it was 6-3?
I do.
With the mid 2000s. Do people like that?
I sure as heck don't.
What about that Shady McCoy Bills game? You remember that, where the snow was like up to their knees?
Yeah.
One touchdown at the end of the game.
You like
think
that?
That's going to be this.
Not really, but it's
like
kind of
that?
fun. Niners kind of had one recently, playoffs against the Packers,
Right.
where it came down to a blocked.
But how about that
punt.
monsoon game last year?
Horrible.
Yeah.
No, 2 years ago. Well, Niners have had 2 recently.
It's cool for like a quarter. And then you want to see actual good football.
And then it's freezing.
I think it's one thing if it's a regular season. In the playoffs, that's a little bit different.
Why couldn't this be the Browns Texans?
That's right. That's right. So
why does it have to be
we'll get
Chiefs
those
all?
picks as Kyle walks in to the studio in a Chiefs jersey and a Phillies hat. That is a combination I don't believe I've ever seen before. Kyle might have the most unique collection of sports apparel.
I would say, though, if it is going to be a snowy game, it kind of does favor the Dolphins, especially with their rushing attack. Like, you would think, even if they can't throw the ball to Tyreek
You
Hill,
would think.
get creative, run some reverses.
Pacheco, you not stopping Pacheco.
Well, how about Devon Achane? You got the leading touchdown
Yeah.
getter in Mostert. You got Jeff Wilson Jr. I just feel like if this is going to be a running battle, I feel like the Dolphins have speed. And, you could say snow takes away speed, but it also works both ways. Like, something tells me Devon Achane will still be the fastest player in snow.
Yeah. Look, you guys just make sure you stretch. Okay, make sure you stretch very well. We saw something as we do a little bit of prop talk later in the show after the dog segment, but saw Tyreek Hill 85 yards.
There's no way. There's no way.
Be way under on
How does that even happen?
I don't know.
Like, it would have to be a screen pass, which I guess maybe
dude, that could happen.
Unless it's
85?
just
let me read this
unless
weather.
it's just really cold. Is it going to be snow up to, you know what I mean? Maybe it's just going to be really cold.
Harder to tackle.
It is slight chance of snow.
It's just going to be really
as
cold.
the reports have said, 0 degrees, possibly as low as -4, 17-mile-an-hour winds.
What's the feel like?
Ducks, they're not getting through those winds.
That's crazy.
No, I'm kidding. I think there's a screen there, and that gets you 40. I think there's about 3 screen passes that might get it for you.
Right.
Jeez.
I might go. I've just convinced myself to go over.
What about a jet sweep from him or something?
That's what I'm saying.
Not receiving though.
That's what I would.
Oh, it could be one of those forward.
Yeah.
What are those called? Push.
Push
pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those Jimmy Garoppolo loves those.
Those count
Statistically.
Okay, so who are you
you're
taking?
I think I got to take the Dolphins just because, again, I'm believing their rush game a little bit more. And, I mean, this Chiefs team has been begging to be eliminated early and they don't deserve to make a playoff run. This team, the receivers it's a disgrace to give Patrick Mahomes the receivers. He's had Travis Kelce. I feel like in the past you could say, hey, Mahomes can still just do these little 8-yard dink and dunks to Kelce, and Kelce can push it down the field. Travis Kelce, the gap between Travis Kelce and tight end number 2 has never been closer than it is this year. He's definitely taken a step back. It's just a fact. I mean, I just don't think that the Chiefs have it this year. Their defense is better for what it's worth.
Dolphins for Chris.
I don't even believe in. How many times have I this year said the Dolphins are frauds? Have I said give them good team and bad weather, and I don't believe them? That's how bad I think this Chiefs situation is.
Nate, what you got?
Hate them, but it's the Chiefs for me. At home, it's like, dude, frauds. I hope I'm jinxing them.
Yeah,
but it's just.
What's the formula? Is my question.
What's the formula? Run the ball, Mahomes, a couple of freak plays, better field goal kicker, maybe. Like it's gonna be like 16-12, so one of those weird scores. A safety might happen here.
Right.
And it's going to be turnovers, fumbles, cold ball. That ball's rock hard.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think neither team really gets into that 20-point range, which is shocking because you look at these teams historically, especially recently, high-scoring offense. Just the freezing is tough. Minimal snow helps, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Miami this year against teams above 500, 10-1.
Yes.
Teams below 500, 1-5.
Don't be surprised.
Yeah.
I would say don't be surprised if this comes down to Coach Mike McDaniel's, his ankles. Will they be? Can we get a prop bet on whether his ankles will be shown?
Oh my gosh!
Will he be showing his ankles
exposed
under
Achilles?
Negative 60-degree.
What is he gonna wear?
Dude, swag.
No, that
he's
last
swagged
time,
out,
he's
bro.
just gonna be next to the heater with his ankle showing.
I don't like him at all. I'm going on the record, bro. I don't like him.
Can't just say that.
I know he's X9. Yes, I can. I just did. Who cares?
What's the problem?
Who cares?
What's the problem with him?
Too much. Trying too hard to be funny, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's yeah."
I'm surprised nobody else thinks that, right? But as with
People
most
love
things,
it.
Until I think he's got a shelf life. I wouldn't be surprised if most people.
Those ankles do.
Y'all are tripping. Swag is forever.
I think
is forever.
I think you lose here, and
Middle
people will
school.
think the shtick is getting old. That's what I think. But I don't think they lose here.
I would like to see this offensive mastermind genius draw up something for this snow, right? Like if you're
that's what I'm saying.
You're so
look,
smart. Like,
Tua, we talked about arm strength. I think it will be hard for Tua to really power through.
Oh, yeah.
And throw the football, so it's going to come down to.
There's going to be some meme videos.
Of
some
the
ducks
Tebow
flying.
one from back in the day, both lefties, by the way. But I do think that if it's going to happen for McDaniels, it's going to have to be this season with the Chiefs down. So I'm actually going to go Dolphins. All right.
I'm here for it.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, we will talk to 76ers writer for ESPN 97.3, Michael Kasky-Blomane. And after that, we're getting back into the Super Wildcard weekend, looking at the Sunday games and the Monday games. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The Red and Gold's 2023 regular season campaign ended with a loss in Week 18, falling to their rivals from the South 21-20. Backup quarterback Sam Darnold played the entire contest, having a good first half with 2 total touchdowns and 169 passing yards. The second half is where things fell apart, allowing 14 unanswered points by the visitors. San Francisco now ends the regular season at 12-5, elated to have a first-round bye in the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. The Sacramento Kings take on the Philadelphia 76ers tonight with no Joel Embiid. And to help us break it all down, we are joined by Michael Kasky-Blomane, writer for ESPN 97.3, who does a lot of 76ers work. Michael, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Michael, let's start here, and your connection isn't great, but hopefully we can power through. Let's start here. Before we get to the game tonight, I've been hearing, I guess, a lot of things, as everybody is right now, but I guess conflicting stories about the 76ers and their interest in trades going into the trade deadline, as they are very high up in the Eastern Conference, but of course, looking at the Celtics and Bucks. What do you see the Sixers doing at the trade deadline?
Yeah, they're in an interesting position because they've been prioritizing preserving salary cap space for this coming offseason and moving forward in the moves they've been making. So they're in an interesting spot where they're not interested in really bringing back a lot of big money contracts in a potential trade unless it's something that they're really confident that it's a player that they're going to want to keep, moving forward for the next several years. I think it's more likely that they'll end up ultimately making some smaller ancillary moves around the edges, maybe adding another backup big man, another ball handler for the second unit. I think that's probably much more likely than, some sort of a blockbuster type move. But in the 4 weeks between now and the trade deadline, they're going to be associated with a lot of names. I think DeJounte Murray from Atlanta is probably the most likely target that they, if they do a blockbuster type move, that he would be the guy. But otherwise, it could potentially end up being a relatively quiet deadline in Philadelphia.
I mean, and like Alan said there, it feels like Philly is kind of looking up right now at definitely at Boston. And I mean, Milwaukee has been up and down this year, but ahead of them in the standings right now. Do you feel like, or how much importance would you say Philly's putting on this season? I mean, there was so much uncertainty going into the year with the James Harden saga. How much pressure are they putting on this season to kind of be a season to win it all?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's important because when you have a guy, the reigning MVP in Joel Embiid, who's still playing at obviously an MVP level like he has been, you want to maximize every potential season that you have. You don't want to waste the season. But Daryl Morey, in the Philadelphia front office has one eye looking on the longer road, and they have a lot of contracts coming off the books this upcoming season. Basically, Joel and Tyrese Maxey, who will be getting an extension in the offseason, will be really the only two players on their books moving forward. And I think that ability to add players in free agency is a priority. So it's kind of like a delicate dance that they're playing between wanting to maintain their ability to add star players around a core of Maxey and Embiid in the future, but also to maximize this season around a guy in Joel Embiid who is still playing at an MVP level, which is why I think they'll certainly entertain a lot of offers. They will definitely put feelers out, talk to a lot of teams about available guys, but ultimately I think they feel pretty good about where they are in terms of a contender in the East. With some, upgrades at the deadline, I think they'd be happy with the team that they have.
Talking to Michael Kasky-Blomane, writer for ESPN 97.3 and the 76ers. Michael, when you're talking about Becky Hammon, who last month found herself in a little bit of trouble because she talked about the undersized point guard or just having an undersized number one, right? Is it any different in Philadelphia where you have Tyrese Maxey as your number two, but a Joel Embiid who I wouldn't say that he is injury riddled, but he is a guy who tends to miss time. How is Tyrese Maxey viewed in terms of a twosome or a duo? Do you think that the 76ers think he can be your straight up number two, or in the future, maybe not this season, in the future, you might need to find one more guy?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think, and it's not a referendum on Maxey at all. He's a favorite among the fans of Philadelphia, and he's really, high up in Philadelphia's front office. His development, the player that he's turned into after they drafted him with the 21st pick back in 2020, well outside of the lottery. He's quickly became an untouchable part of the piece of the puzzle in Philly. But I do think that there's the attitude that they probably need one more. I hesitate to say superstar level player, but one more all-star level player for, pretty much precisely the reason you said. Obviously, Joel is going to miss some games. We've seen at points of this season, Tyrese struggling, understandably so, being the first option for the first time in his career in some of these games when Joel is out and defenses are able to, really focus on him as the primary offensive option. I think we've seen him, go through some growing pains in that regard. And I think, moving forward, to have a well-balanced roster, I think the Sixers would love to have Joel, as the big man, Tyrese as a point guard, and then maybe a wing, another perimeter player to kind of complement Tyrese that can get his own basket, which is something that they really don't have this season outside of those two guys. They don't really have guys that can really just go and generate their own offense consistently. So I think that will probably be something that they're really going to be looking for, if not in the coming weeks before the trade deadline, then definitely next summer in the offseason.
Interesting. Yeah, Michael, and not to be too redundant or harp on the same thing, but looking at the Sixers record last year without Joel Embiid, they were 11-5. This year, 2-7 without Joel. Is that pretty much just kind of like what Alan asked? Is that a direct result pretty much of James Harden not being there this year and the pressure or the burden of carrying the team without Joel falling on Maxey's shoulders now?
Absolutely. I think so. I think that was definitely one benefit of James Harden's presence in Philadelphia last year. Obviously, he's the type of guy that has shown that he can carry a team, carry an offense over the course of a game or even over the course of a regular season. And I think that was the case last year when Joel was out. The offense would obviously shift to a primary ball handler, James Harden, ISO-centric type play. This year, it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's a different coach, different personnel. And like I said, I think there's still growing pains with Tyrese kind of getting used to being the primary focus of a defense. But I do think that their record without Embiid, like you said, 2-7 so far this season, is concerning given the fact that it just seems that he always ends up missing a couple games come playoff time for one reason or another. He's been, largely healthy, but there always seems to be a game or two that he's not available to play. And in a playoff series, that's all it takes where, you have your best player miss a game or two. It can swing the entire series, and it doesn't seem that the Sixers really have developed any sort of an identity without him on the floor. They struggle to get good looks on offense when he's not out there, and they have virtually no rim protection or paint protection also. So, I think they really do need to figure something out in the short term in terms of potentially another backup big man that they could rely on in case Joel's unavailable.
Talking to Michael Kasky-Blomain of ESPN 97.3. Michael, it's always great to get an outside perspective. We're here in Sacramento, and we talk so much about the Kings and the Beam talk out there in Philadelphia, where you're at, and just your view of the NBA landscape. How do you feel about the Kings?
Well, personally, I love watching the Kings, obviously dating back to last year when they really kind of turned it up. I think they're definitely one of the more interesting and exciting teams to watch for sure. And to me, the Western Conference this year is just so interesting that it's wide open. And I think the Kings, I put the Nuggets probably and the Clippers when they're at full health as probably the top two teams in my eyes in the conference. But after that, when you talk about this jumble of teams, the Timberwolves, the Thunder, the Kings, the Pelicans, the Mavs, all those teams are right there. And I think the Kings, the experience that they gained last year, obviously with the success they had in the regular season, probably not going quite as far in the postseason as they would have hoped, but still just getting that experience as a team, all that they went through last year, I think that will really help them moving forward this season. So to me, they're a legitimate threat in the Western Conference, and I think, in the short term tonight, they'll have an excellent chance to take advantage of a Sixers team missing their best player and potentially get a big road win.
Yeah, Michael, something me and Alan have been going back and forth with all year, and especially now that Joel has missed his third straight game. Like, does it feel, or is there any indications internally that, I don't want to say Joel doesn't care about the awards with the new 65 game limit, but is there maybe less importance to Joel and the Sixers with him, playing 65 games and getting the recognition, and it's really more so about, okay, you've already gotten the MVP. Now it's really focused on can you get the ring? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's not only Joel's view, but I think that's kind of the organizational approach. Had he not won the award last year, maybe things would be a little bit different. Coming so close the previous 2 years, being the runner-up, it was clearly something that he wanted to achieve personally, and he did. And I think now that that's kind of checked off his bucket list, and it kind of goes to the general conversation about Embiid and the Sixers at this point. It's a kind of a, talk to me in May, talk to me in June kind of conversation. He's clearly, he's shown that he's an MVP, multiple time scoring leader, probably arguably the best player in the league, top 3, if not number 1. So, there's really nothing left for him to prove. And I think by slow playing an injury in the regular season, it's all about, trying to keep him healthy for the postseason, which has been kind of the mandate since he was drafted in 2014, is getting him and the team healthy to the postseason. But, for Joel, there's just so much little left that he has to prove in terms of the regular season, and it's all, on him just getting past the second round at this point, and obviously hopefully getting on to the finals and the NBA finals. But I do think that, individual accolades and awards like MVP are both kind of taking the back seat to his overall health at this point in his career for sure.
Michael Kasky-Blomane of ESPN 97.3. Michael, before we get you out of here, I told you I was going to ask, right? And you can even do more. You can even say more than just your favorite cheesesteak spot. I told you I used to be out there. Kyle Draper, who is a host on the station and also does our play-by-play for the Kings, is from Philly. He's out there right now. Now, he likes D'Alessandro's. I like Ishkabibbles. What is your spot for any Kings fans out there that are taking in the game tonight?
So it's funny. I'm going to go D'Alessandro's.
Okay.
Well, listen, though, it's funny because a few years ago, that was kind of like an underground answer because it was all like Pat and Gino's. Recently, it's become almost like the popular answer, but I literally live a block away from D'Alessandro's. Like, I'm talking to you right now like I could walk there and be there by the time we hang up this phone call.
Right.
So just the proximity to me. There's also a place right down the street for me called Barry's Cheesesteaks, which is also great, kind of flies under the radar.
Okay.
But I'm a D'Alessandro's guy, mainly just because I live here. Although the Knicks roast pork at the Reading Terminal Market in Center City would be my recommendation for an outsider. If someone was popping into Philly, I would say bypass the cheesesteak, head to the Reading Terminal Market, and get a roast pork sandwich from the Knicks. It is an eating experience.
That is correct. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 2010, 2011, it won Best Sandwich in America. And I have had it. Michael, this was great. Thank you so much. Good luck to the 76ers. Maybe not tonight, but the rest of the season. We will talk to you soon and enjoy your weekend.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
All righty. Michael Kasky-Blomane of ESPN 97.3. Great stuff. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we will take over the next set of the Super Wildcard Weekend picks Sunday and Monday. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search
Thanks again to Michael Kasky-Blomane of ESPN 97.3. Says Delisandro's, if you are going to be eating a cheesesteak tonight, and you might actually run into Kyle Draper if you go. So shout out to Michael. Thank you for that. And hopefully
if you run into Drapes, tell him Alan said hi.
That's right. Please do. Please do. All right. Let's get back into the Super Wild Card Weekend.
Here he is.
Sunday, Steelers in the tundra of Buffalo. Watch your tables. They're jumping on them. Steelers at Bills, 10 a.m., 15 degrees, 22-mile-per-hour winds, CBS and Paramount Plus. Who you got?
I heard it's going to be a little swampy out there, Gus.
It's a swamp, a snowy swamp.
Tundra swamp.
The Bills, favorited by 10 points.
They should be.
Jeez.
They should be.
You know what?
Alan's here?
Should I do it?
When did Alan get here?
Should I do it?
Is Gus under the table in there?
Steelers are going to cover.
That's fine.
Bills win.
Steelers are going to cover.
They're
not going to lose by 10.
They're not going to lose by 10. I got Bills to win, Steelers to cover.
This one feels like it's too obvious, right? Like this is again one of those where if you're in Vegas, everyone and their mom is putting money on the Bills because nobody believes in the Steelers.
That's right.
They probably shouldn't, because if I'm not mistaken, right, TJ Watt's not going to be playing either, so they're not going to have their best player. Do we know who's going to play quarterback? Is this a Mason Rudolph? Oh my!
But it doesn't matter because they have the same guy 3 times.
Pretty much. I actually, in a weird way, I do think they ended up with the right one. I feel like Mason is probably the best of the 3, whatever that means.
Yeah, what does that mean? That's so tough.
You know, I think I like Buffalo. They have the playoff experience too. I saw in Week 18, I don't know how long he's been around there, but Leonard Fournette is in the Bills' backfield these days.
I saw that.
So
who he play for?
Where maybe there'll be a resurgence of playoff Lenny. I mean, he hasn't played all season long, so he's got to be fresh. That's a big physical body that, I mean, maybe can take some hits away from Josh Allen. If you're telling me a snow game, I think I like the Bills in that one. They've played enough bad weather games too to where it probably shouldn't affect Josh Allen at this point. I think they're going to win. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely going to win. I don't know nothing about covers.
Can I get the weather one more time? I'm sorry. I was distracted by Gus's golden voice.
Sure. Let me get the weather for you one more time. 15 degrees, 22-mile-per-hour winds. Hopefully you don't have a noodle arm.
What?
Only a chance of
Hopefully you don't have a noodle arm.
You can't throw?
Yeah. You don't know what a noodle arm is?
Not really. Like you're weak?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Josh Allen definitely doesn't have a noodle arm.
Definitely not.
I don't know about Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you want to say something? Or you just wanted the weather?
No, I wanted the weather for my pick here. But I was just I'm racking my brain on how this must be.
We got 3 more games, buddy.
Yeah, buddy, Chris, come on.
Come on,
dude.
bud.
Yeah. This is the game. If my life depended
Chief.
on it, I'd be picking the Bills. I think, which is scary because the Bills are so crazy and sporadic sometimes, especially with Josh Allen. But he's just Bills. I'm done. We got 3 more, bud.
Okay, you got Bills. I already said what I had. Bills to win, Steelers to cover. Let's go to Packers at. How about them Cowboys?
Man.
Yeah, Packers at Cowboys.
Good thing this thing is in a dome, because I'm looking at just all the weather. Slight chance of freezing rain, which is apparently different than snow.
It's worse.
That sounds like sharp knives.
No,
falling
it
from the
is worse.
sky.
It is. But is freezing rain different than hail?
These are the questions. We said we
We
want a
want the
meteorologist. Come on,
meteorologist.
Where are you at?
There's got to be a KCRA.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Dirk Vadorn.
I'll talk to some people.
Yeah.
Let's get Dirk in here.
All right. I got, and let's see, the line is 7.
Yeah.
Cowboys, obviously.
Even though the Packers are playing their best football right now, and that's ideally what you want to do heading into the playoffs, is play your best football heading into the playoffs, not at the start of the year. Even though it would be hilarious for the Green Bay Packers to march in to Jerry Dome, to Jerry World, and take out Mike McCarthy or Matt, whichever McCarthy it is.
Who cares?
It's not going to happen. It's just not. I know that Jordan Love's been playing a whole lot better recently. This Cowboy team, I mean, if they lose this game, I mean, McCarthy's gone for sure, but there's going to be just absolute madness in Dallas, and
they're not going to lose.
Good luck.
I think they're going to cover. I think classic Dallas is balling out this game and then probably getting not blown out, but losing next week. Probably. I think that's classic Dallas.
To the Eagles, you think?
No, because I think the Eagles would have to play the Niners as long as the Rams.
Depending on the Rams.
Yeah, I think classic Cowboys would be winning this week and losing next week. So I got the Cowboys winning.
All right.
Packers, baby. I saw the line 7.5. It's shrunk to 7 now. Dude. I don't know. I think LaFleur's offense can beat Quinn's defense. And then it comes down.
Are you being serious?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm being serious. This is just my opinion. I'm probably wrong. I'm going to take the Packers. I think it's a close game the whole time.
Could be.
I think I'll say it again. I think LaFleur's offense can beat Dan Quinn's defense. Therefore, it'll pretty much come down to like protecting the ball and trying your best to limit that Dallas offense. Like definite bend but don't break mentality. If they get the red zone, gotta keep them to a field goal. Gotta figure out how to do that. Got to stop the run game. Tony Pollard has slowed down a bit recently. I think they can do it. And I'm just going to say they will do it, but they do it by 3 points.
All right, quickly here to finish it off. You have Rams at Lions. This is the one. Lions are favored by 3, and that's actually surprising to me. I'll go first just to keep it rolling. And I've been teasing it this whole week now with everybody hopping onto the Rams bandwagon. I think the Lions are going to feel pretty disrespected. First time having a playoff game in a very long time. There might be some jitters early, and everybody that went Rams is going to be feeling real good about it. But I actually think it's going to be a shootout, and I'm going to take the Lions simply because there is way too many people on the Rams.
I definitely see big shootout potential. I think if any game is going to be the super exciting, it goes down to the final possession. This feels like it'll be it. And, I really think that Lions offense is really, really good. It's going to be tough to slow them down. It comes down to me to Jared Goff. If Jared's going to show up, then I think it should be kind of an easy one. It should be. I think it won't be as hard as what people are saying. If you can rattle Jared Goff, which I'm sure Sean McVay has some ideas of what Jared Goff does and doesn't like, then that's how I could see the Rams doing it. But I still think the Lions are the better team.
So somebody asked quickly about Sam Laporta.
I know a little bit about that.
Okay, well, we don't have time. But
okay, sorry.
Is he going to play?
Laporta, I think he's on a snap count.
Okay,
from what I saw this morning.
We also have one more game if we get to real quick. Eagles-Bucks on Monday.
I'm taking the Lions.
Okay, you're taking the Lions. Eagles-Bucks. The Eagles are favored by 3. I think people are really down on the Eagles as long as Jalen Hurts is healthy.
This is also another bad weather game. 66 and rain.
Yeah, it's getting a little closer to disrespectful for me, so I'm actually going to go Eagles.
They're going to dominate the trenches, and if it's raining and Baker can't sling it about to his weapons, then I just think that the Philly's going to win in the trenches, and it'll probably be an easy game.
There you go.
Also, the Bucks suck.
Yeah.
I get a little worried if Philly wins, but I think they win. I think if they kind of get back in their groove, they could be dangerous.
Look out.
So,
all right, there you go. Got to get to a break. When we get back, dog segment and prop talk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Philadelphia Eagles have limped into the postseason. Tampa Bay won their division on the final day of the regular season. These two collide on Monday to close out Super Wild Card Weekend. We have all the play-by-play action Monday at 4:30. Of the Eagles and Buccaneers on Sactown Sports, your home for Super Bowl 58.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Friday forecast looks great for being outdoors. A mix of sun and clouds expected today. A dry forecast with highs in the low 50s. But be prepared for rainy and breezy conditions for Saturday. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-385-9302 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-385-9302. That's 800-385-9302. What do you have to lose? Call 800-385-9302. Again, 800-385-9302.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Well, it's the new year, so the big question is, what's happening at Hoblet for Chrysler's Start Something New sales event?
Sadly, the end of an era is here. Dodge has stopped making the classic gas-powered Charger and Challenger, so this is your last chance to get your hands on some American muscle with that iconic V8 power. And now is the best time to buy because you can get up to $7,000 off MSRP and 0% financing for 72 months on new 2023 Dodge Charger SXT and Challenger GTs.
Oh, that's one of those things you hope they wouldn't actually do. It truly is the end of an era.
Yeah, and that means when they're gone, they're gone.
See our full inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. 7,000 total net savings after 6,500 dealer discount and 500 factor rebate. Includes 500 first responder cash. Must be member of qualifying first responder program. Plus 0% financing for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 700 plus FICO score required. $1,389 per thousand borrowed and no payments for 90 days. 5 of this net savings. Sample VIN 648404.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payment with 0 down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
Live and and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And it is time on a Friday. Want to make your Friday a little bit sweeter? We can do that right now.
Got a little something for you.
Pull up, park, ski. Yup, it's that easy at Sierra at Tahoe. Sactown Sports has teamed up with Sierra at Tahoe this winter, and all you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now looking for caller number 5, De'Aaron Fox, because he's going to go off tonight. Caller number 5 to win a pair of lift tickets to experience Sierra at Tahoe this winter. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. On the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, 916-339-1140. Looking for caller number 5, 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Caller number 5 for your pair of lift tickets at Sierra at Tahoe. Nate the Great will take care of you. Bing, bam, boom. As we prepare for our dog segment. But before that, we do have some news, and this news has been confirmed. It's been confirmed. You know, these days, you got to confirm it. This is from Zach Lowe on the exclusive content for ESPN Plus. And here you go, Chris. The Kings have concerns about trading for another massive salary onto their roster, which would limit their flexibility moving forward.
Sure.
And if you move forward from that, this would basically eliminate Sacramento as a potential destination for Pascal Siakam, which we already felt like that, and Zach LaVine. Again, the Kings have concerns about trading for another massive salary onto their roster, which would limit their flexibility moving forward. That is from Zach Lowe of ESPN. You can catch that article on ESPN.com. It is the ESPN Plus article. So, and the title of the article is Low. Clippers are title contenders again. Doncic's improved defense and why the Kings won't trade Murray.
Yeah, I'm looking at the article right now, and there is he does an extensive breakdown of Keegan Murray. I wouldn't really call it a breakdown, but he gives this is a good amount of words on Keegan Murray. So definitely check that out, as the trade piece is really only a small piece of what the actual article is. So go read about Keegan Murray.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And Nate is handling the phone lines for our winner as we get ready for our dog segment and our dog of the game. Look, man, when it comes to the salaries, when it comes to, bringing on a big salary, I agree. And it also has to be that fit. And you know what? We need to start thinking about the perfect player, because I think the perfect player would have been Pascal Siakam with the 3-pointer.
I say Chet Holmgren. I think Chet Holmgren's the perfect player.
You're just creating for the Kings.
Yes.
Okay.
Next to Sabonis, I think Chet Holmgren's the perfect player.
Okay.
And I really like Evan Mobley too. Those would be like the two guys that if I could, or like if we can go in a time machine, like 4 or 5 years ago, Robert Covington. Those are like my.
Who is out
guys.
tonight? I believe.
I believe so.
He is out tonight, so you won't get to see this.
Hey, now Pascal Siakam.
Apple
Watch is trying to tell us
there
about
you go.
Pascal. We've heard enough about Pascal.
Yeah, Pascal is done. We know enough about Pascal Siakam. And okay, we'll do some of the prop talk here as well.
Yeah.
And I already went over the 85.5 for Tyreek. And I know you are.
That's a lot of yards.
Isn't that
crazy? Like with that weather, to think that Tua, who has a history of having some issues, getting some zip on the ball, like 85 yards is a lot. Like that's almost, you're paying market value, right? Like that's, Tyreek in a given game is probably going to, probably be, if we're talking what his prop would be set at, probably near the 90s. And so to get 85 doesn't really feel like that big of a discount, considering it's probably the worst weather anyone has ever been in. So that just feels a little bit rich for me.
So I'm going to go this guy, and then you'll go with your pick as well. This guy, and it connects into the dog segment as well, actually. This guy has not gotten to this number in a while. And honestly, I got to be honest, I'd stay away. De'Aaron Fox, 27.5 points.
Interesting. I mean, you could argue that that's a bit of a discount, though, because, I mean, De'Aaron's he's averaging near 30. He's typically been at 30 or more. So if you're getting 27, that feels like probably, I mean, if De'Aaron's going to go off, he's probably going to hit 25 to 27, even if it's a light game. I mean, we've seen De'Aaron have bad games, quote unquote, here recently. And even then he's putting up 24. So if he's having a good game, not even an excellent, great game, 27 feels reasonable.
Last 5 games, and this is because of that 3-point game, right. He's averaging 17.4 points because of that drop.
Yeah, that 3.
But either way, even throughout those 5 games, he hasn't gotten to 28 points.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
I got one to build on that, De'Aaron Fox.
Sure. Throw it out.
So we got a combo here.
Okay.
De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Maxey.
Okay.
Combining 59.5 points. You taking the over or under?
Ooh.
Me personally, I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I think so.
So if
Maxey's their only guy,
right?
Yeah.
But you got to think, but he's going to get clamped. Okay, he's going to get clamped tonight. What if they run the blitz on him? I'm staying away.
Yeah,
staying away.
I would consider staying away because it does feel too obvious.
If that's not part of the game, I'll go under. I'll go
so
under.
then Fox, you said 27 for Fox?
27.5.
Yeah. So, and you took the over on that? Sorry, I was on the phone.
No.
Took the under.
Oh, you took the under on Fox.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were taking the over on the Fox 27.
No.
Okay, so I misunderstood.
So then, you would definitely, by your logic, you're way under on this.
Yes.
That's 59.5.
So you think do you think Maxey would do under 27? If you had to,
that's the question. Somebody's got to carry them.
Yeah.
Can Maxey carry them?
Yeah.
Look,
and looking at that Maxey last game, like I said, he took 24 shots.
Right.
He had 36 points.
And if Tobias or somebody heats up and you can't blitz Maxey, I would go over on the combo before I go over on De'Aaron by himself.
Interesting.
I got 2 more quick ones for you guys.
I've got one.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
I've got Domantas Sabonis. I mean, he has been a rebounding machine. He's only had 10 rebounds the last 3 games. I'm seeing 13 for the number for Sabonis. I'm taking the over. Because this is a dude who's we're talking about 21 rebound games. We're talking about 17, 19 rebound games. I'm looking at as I said, the Sixers 2-7 without Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Yep. How about in those games without Joel Embiid, they're averaging 39.4 rebounds per game. You know where that would put them? Dead last in the NBA in rebounding.
Over.
If you were to extend that for the entire season, I'm taking Domas over 13.
That's great insight. Yeah, I'm taking the over too. Chris, you sold me for sure.
Yeah.
Well, then let's stick with Domas all together. So this is points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay.
So each one counts for 1, right?
Yep.
Right.
1 rebound is 1 point, 1 assist is 1 point, 1 point's 1 point.
That's how it works.
44.5 all together. You take all 3 of those big stats, put them together, you're taking 44.5.
So let's just assume that rebounds and assists with Domas levels out to somewhere near 20.
Yeah, because
They're kind of more
we're thinking
like
15 rebounds.
So if you're betting 15 rebounds, I mean, and you're getting anything more than like 6 or 7 assists.
You said 44?
44.5.
There's no way. That's 20 points.
Yep.
20 points, which would be
points,
good.
Yeah.
And then let's say 20
Okay.
points,
Yeah.
13 rebounds. You're at 33, right? You need 11 assists.
Yeah.
You just need a monster.
More points.
You need a
whatever.
monster Domas. You can get more. You can get a 28
right.
easy.
That's the thing. That's not a normal game. It's a good game.
It's
a really
like,
good
yeah,
game.
you're
I think
baking in a really
That's the question. Yeah, it's not a matter of, hey, he just did his thing. That's a good game.
I'm sure like all of the Vegas Sharks would probably tell you not to do it because you are betting on him playing extraordinary instead of him
one thing's off,
average.
you're cooked.
Exactly. One thing's off, you're cooked, whether it's rebounds or assists or even points. I mean, he could have 12 points, 15 assists, and 15 rebounds, and you're still short.
All right. Before we get to a break here,
let's do some dogs.
Let's do some dogs. Let's get it going. All right. Got to go quick here. Dog of the game, or we could technically do 2
let's
quickly.
Just bang out 2.
Here you go from the 916. The dog with 3 W's and 3 A's of the game tonight. Tyrese Maxey. If Philadelphia is victorious.
I guess we got to open it up.
And De'Aaron Fox if the Sacramento Kings are victorious. Thank you to the 916 to get started with our dog segment sponsored by Could Be You. Give us a call, 916-339-1140. I'll go quick on both. I'm going to say Yeah, I'm going to go De'Aaron Fox again. I think he's going to start cooking tonight. Nationally televised game, him, Kentucky versus Kentucky.
Yeah.
You got Tyrese Maxey. And then against the Bucks, for the Bucks, I'm going to actually do Trey Lyles because I think he's going to have to hit a lot of threes to hang around.
Nice.
Trey got in a fight with the Bucks last time they played.
That's right.
We
You
like
think
that.
Kevin's back by then? Not that you would take it. You're not allowed to take it.
Yeah,
I
not
don't
allowed
think.
to.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
the
touching
rule.
it.
Probably not, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. We really don't have any clarity on how bad that ankle is, so just kind of don't know. I'm gonna take. You know what? I'll take Domas tonight for the reasons I just kind of listed. I think he's gonna be just a monster, destroying Paul Reed all day. And then on Sunday, I'll take De'Aaron Fox. I'm gonna, maybe this is a bit of a cop out. I'm gonna take the Kings' 2 best players this weekend, but De'Aaron going against Dame. That's lining up for that to be a great battle. And as we said, Dame don't play any defense. So some tells me De'Aaron's going to be able to kind of have his way with Dame. And, it'd be nice to have him have a really big game against a really big opponent. So I'm going to pick De'Aaron.
Sabonis, Keegan. Sabonis tonight for those reasons we listed earlier, rebounds. Keegan. And then Keegan, I think, will be left alone. Not for the most part, but I think he'll have enough time, not being guarded by an insane defensive player, whoever that is.
I really hope Keegan does not have to guard Giannis.
Yeah, and it's funny, his comparison is Middleton.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see those two.
Healthy Middleton.
Those two kind of go at it. Not that we haven't seen it before, but those are my two.
There you go. Got to get to a break. When we get back, crosstalk with the Drive Guys. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and play.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. With anti-lock brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, backup camera, and Honda safety sensing package including collision mitigation braking system, you can see why a sporty, redesigned Civic from Elk Grove Honda gives you a lot for your money. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here, buck, there, buck, everywhere, buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean. And there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
It's time to buck up, Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back.
PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge of your seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore. Great selection, great factory financing and incentive, and great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. Whitey joins us.
Hey, what's up?
And Whitey, how you doing on this Friday?
I'm good. You know that you can feel that storm coming though, can't you? You can kind of feel the energy because tomorrow's supposed to be.
So it's supposed to be a storm or it's just raining?
I don't know. On Channel 3,
out.
the weather, they had a big exclamation mark, so I'm assuming that's not good.
You know how weather is.
I don't know.
Seeing rain all day tomorrow. That means I will be staying indoors.
Watching football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you guys rather
trying to figure
watch,
out how to get Peacock?
Would you come on over? Would you rather watch a football game that's played perfect conditions, sun, or maybe in a dome, or would you rather watch a game in the blizzard or the snow or the mud?
I mean, maybe if the teams fit it a bit more. I hear what you're saying, but
no, I'm just asking which I'm kind of I like those. I like the muddy games. Your team,
we knew there'd be one.
I'm a dome.
There's more than one. I'm sure there are a lot of people like.
Yeah, and it may be older people.
Mm-hmm.
But your team, in the old days, your team, man,
well, that was the advantage.
Yeah, they
right?
played on the frozen tundra and all that.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Is that supposed to make you feel like, hey, that's the better team because they won despite the situation? Or do you want to see good conditions? And then that can be, I just want to see the two best teams at their best, right? That's really the question.
That's where I'm coming from, especially with this matchup. It's like, this is such a good matchup. I just want to see actually what it looks like if these two teams are able to be at what they would consider full power. I would like to see what happens when these two forces go together because, I mean, inevitably, whichever team loses, they're going to have the excuse of, oh, well, the weather was bad. You guess what would have happened if the weather was good, especially from the Dolphins side. I mean, if I were the Dolphins, in a weird way, it's good because you have a natural cop-out, but I want to let this thing fly, especially against the Chiefs. You can make a real statement.
Yeah, a bunch of them say they're going to go sleeveless. I almost said shirtless. They're not going to go shirtless.
Oh, I'm sure someone will.
Oh, they will. That's what we talked about
pregame.
actually in the crosstalk this morning. Who will be the player or players? We don't care, and they show up with no shirt on because there's always
Colin
one.
Kaepernick in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Although it wasn't 9 below or whatever, but it was cold.
Yeah, but once you get to a certain level, cold's cold.
But then it's
that's
like
not right. That's not true.
Nate mentioned the ball being stiff too in the cold. I didn't even think about the body contact of you're freezing and then you got a pad just coming into your arm and it's
if you start getting frostbite, you can't will that away.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, Kadarius, he needs a lot. He needs even in good conditions.
He's got a good excuse already.
Just real quick, I understand you guys are probably right. And bad weather is kind of an equalizer, which gives a lesser team more of a chance in some ways. But I just like watching it. You're right, though. I mean, if you want to see the teams play their best football, the better the weather, the better the conditions, the more likely that is. I get that.
Adam Peters, head of football operations now for the Commanders. Does Bob Myers just have the most power out of any man. I mean, why did we just period. He now is crossed over to the NFL. And, Whitey, I was in the, coming from the Bay, I was in the camp of, are we sure Bob Myers' impact is not just a little bit overrated? I mean, just a little, just maybe a tiny bit.
He was a great GM. He's really smart getting out of the Bay Area when he did.
That's true.
Like my man Alan Stiles here.
Yeah,
very smart.
Right in time.
That's right. Yeah. Well played.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it going down.
Yeah. And I'm sure he was just kind of a facilitator on that. So, smart people end up in the right place at the right time. And then it looks like, man, that guy, he's all the power in the world. Everything he touches turns to gold. And some of it's just, it's just making sure he's in the right situation at the right time.
Yeah, going to the
good guy though. You've talked to him.
Great guy. But it's just everything just falls into play, and now all of a sudden, hey, come on over. You just keeping the connection going. I know he's had multiple conversations with John Lynch, which we've seen as well. But going back to the Niners, and you look at Mike McDaniels, he's gone. D'Amico Ryans, he's gone. Rapasala, he's gone. Adam Peters, he's gone. Rand Carthen, he's gone. And you have we call it the cooks that are on the field making the meal. And now you're getting rid of those that were buying the produce and buying what was to be used to make the meals. And the question is, just long story short, Kevin, Michael, Whitey, Gleason, the Niners got to get it done this season. How long can you survive just getting plucked every single season of really high caliber people?
I thought we were talking about groceries there.
We are.
I don't have my Save Mart ad with me.
Shout out Save Mart.
Yeah, well, I think that's been the backdrop of this whole season, going back even to camp. I know Emil, everybody was talking about it. Every other question, even before they started the exhibition games, was, do you guys feel like this has got to be the year? So
I remember Trent Williams saying something about why does everyone keep asking us about our window? I'm tired of talking about windows.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of on the media. I'm not on Trent Williams' side there. I'm like, there is, to me, again, like Alan just said up there, there's a clear and obvious window here where they have to capitalize, or else it's just, because how many more times, if the Niners run into the wall again this year, how many times can you keep convincing yourself to run into that wall and it's going to be different? Especially when, you've got the shuffling of OCs, DCs, you got the assistant GMs out the door. At some point, I don't know if it's luck. I don't know if it's skill of being able to replace these guys, but at some point, you're going to make a misstep.
Yeah.
And when I say, go ahead. Too,
it's random.
Like a guy like, I hate to say it, but like Kittle, great player, but every year you can see he's slowed up a little more, a little more, and it just catches up to you, especially the way, they emphasize yak, and those guys take a beating.
They
deliver
really
a beating too, but they take one.
And it's been years of this, and they went through the Jimmy Garoppolo era, and now they're here with Brock Purdy, and that's really it. It's not even it's just as much the Niners as it is, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean it to take anything away from the Niners, it is a softer season, right? There's been quarterbacks that have went down. The Chiefs, they decided to take a chance and not really have a number one receiver. It caught up to them. You just got to take it. You are by far, the Eagles crumbled in part to you. And by the way, look at the Eagles. I know they're not set up the same as the Niners, but you went to the Super Bowl last season, and it doesn't look like it's happening this season. Same thing happened to the Bengals. That team that goes and doesn't win, a lot of times it's hard for them to get back. Mm-hmm. So it's just as much about the Niners as it is about the field. When we're looking around, but the thing is, you could say the same exact thing about Lamar. You could say Lamar, Josh Allen is up and down. You have Mahomes with no weapons. If you don't do it this year, buddy, and especially the way you play, so one of those teams has to get it done this season.
Yeah, Lamar, watch out next week for the Browns. Huh?
Yeah. I know. I would be worried about it. I would definitely be worried about it. So, all right, got to get out of here. Thanks for listening all week to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to Nate. You have the Drive Guys up next with Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully we get a Philly cheesesteak bean and also a bean in Milwaukee. Until next week, until Monday, secure the bag
Like the bean. Tuesday.
A Sacramento Kings playing here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
A steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly.